What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode 6 of Guardians of the Galaverse. I have Shadow and Khaos with me today as usual, and we will be covering all the information you need to know about the Gala ecosystem that happened last week, mainly ahead of the game episode 39, a bunch of Gala music news, some posts by Bitbender, and everything else you need to know. What's happening, guys? How you doing today?
How's it going, fellas? Yeah, good to be with you again. Looking forward to some exciting news come out in the last few days. I think we were discussing internally after a pretty slow ahead of the game, we're going to have to carry this episode through with our banter. So no, there's been some pretty hot topics literally in the last 24 hours. So yeah, looking forward to getting this one underway.
Yeah, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Your boy Khaos here back again for another podcast. You know what I mean? I'm feeling pumped. I went to the gym today. You know what I mean? Did some shoulders, so my shoulders are looking pumped. So I'm just pumped and ready for this show, innit?
Oh, Lucifer's in chat. What's up, Lou? All right, cool. Get everything ready to go. Smiling Shadow Princess. That could just be my name. Smiling the Shadow Princess.
The chat in the chat.
Cool. Let's switch over to. Let me minimize the music because we don't need that no more for the intro.
Khaos.
Yeah, instead of Khaos, like right here, just be Princess.
Going from Khaos to Princess is a steep decline.
I know, right?
Chaos Rome. No, Princess.
Definitely, that's one of those transformations, isn't it?
Legit, it'll be like dark, moody, like chaos lightning and everywhere. And then the transformation is like a flowery dress with like a tiara and like a wand. Magic girl Khaos, the princess.
Just go out of that door at the back, isn't it? And then come back like a couple of minutes later and he's dressed up.
Dress change, legit.
That'd be serious jokes. We have to get Lou and Chuck on the podcast, I reckon.
Oh yeah. Also Bitbender. We need to get Bitbender talking about Gala Chain and like all the other stuff. Yeah. We need guests. Let's get Wookie on there. Let's get Dubstep Rod in there. Bitbender, Lou, Chuck. We can get the Gala Collective. You know, everybody just make a list. We'll get you on. All right, cool. Let's switch over to the chat with, well, the screen with the chat. They're talking about how to kill people in The Walking Dead, innit? The PvP guy, Chuck, rank 1 and kills. Get Vince on here for Lost Expedition. That guy's a madman. He's rank 1 with like 260 games or some shit.
Wow.
Alright, cool. So here we have ahead of the game. I put episode 38. I was sleepy. It's 39. And then Gala reposted this as episode 38. It's like, okay, guys, just a correction. It is 39. You know, it was like 1 or 2 a.m. for me. But here is everything you need to know about Ahead of the Game episode 39 by Gala Games. Now, this episode was hosted by Anita. Bitbender or Jason was busy because now they have Gala HQ and they are doing a lot of restructuring and a lot of contracts are being signed and information and this and that and legal stuff, you know, the usual that they cannot talk about. So the first piece of information that we got from the head of the game was the referral system proposal still needs a few more revisions before it is pushed out again before the node vote happens. So if you don't know what the referral system is, basically Bitbender put out a draft of a proposal that would become a node vote when he finishes the revisions. But it's basically if user A invites user B and then user B invites user C, there is a mint allowance that gets distributed to both A and B. Now, I'm not going to go into it in detail. You can find the post that was revised and learn about the actual full system there. But a quick yes or no, do you guys like the referral system proposal or is that a no for you?
I like if it comes from like a blank canvas. Like if they just allow people to put in their previous referrals, it doesn't incentivize people to go out and refer people. They've already got a bunch. They're just gonna like take their gala and split and not do much more work. So I think it's, you know, if it's a blank canvas, then I think it's good.
Basically, I have no idea about any referral system. I never really looked into a referral system. I wasn't planning to refer anybody to Gala. But it's like for the games, yeah, cool. But when it came for like the node and all that stuff, like I wasn't interested in that. So when they was talking about this, I was like, bro, I don't even know, like, cause I don't even know what to vote, yes or no. So I was just gonna go with whatever Smiling went with, so whatever he votes, got my vote.
Oh, mine's 50-50 right now because I have referrals from like the previous referral system, but it's not a lot because I wasn't making a lot of Gala content. But if, like Shadow said, if it's a blank canvas, so, and the pool as well, if the pool doesn't come from the founders nodes and it comes from some other part that Gala has, then I'm okay with it. If the referral is a blank slate, then that's cool as well. Don't like give the old referral points into the new one, which I think Wookie was commenting about when he made his video, like make it sure it's a blank slate, make sure the founders node pool isn't touched, you get it from whatever you have extra in your pool or whatever. And if it is, it's interesting, but I still think it needs a few more revisions before I can give like my answer in what I plan to vote yes or no with. Currently, the first proposal was more leaning towards no, but with the changes that if quite a few people suggested, if that is implemented, I could be 50-50 more leaning towards yes. Lou says it's bullshit. All right, Lou, you can jump in and do your 5 minutes of fame. Why is it bullshit?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to speak to Lou. Like next time I speak to Lou, I need to get his like what he thinks and the reason why he thinks it's bullshit. I'm trying to get like opinion from everybody, like from yourself, from Shadowknyte, like trying to understand a little bit more, see how it affects me. Like if it affects me in terms of my node distribution, then I don't give a rat's ass about y'all and y'all's referrals. Like I'm trying to get mine because I
That's
don't,
how
like I
it
said, I don't
is.
get involved with the referral. So how does it benefit me? So at the end of the day, I'm trying to figure out like yeah, the benefits or negative.
It's when it's when the person you refers does something and they burn Gala, you get a percentage in your mint allocation, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but that is how I understood it. But there's still more revisions. Lou said just something else they can take away in a year when they decide to change the system. I'm guessing he's referring to that node vote of the bonus point thing that they still haven't implemented or in the process of implementing. And 8-Bit Tendies is first on YouTube. Yes, you are. What's up, man? How's it going?
Yo, shout out to 8-Bit Tendies. Oh, boy.
8-bit in the house. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. We waiting for Legends Reborn. Like, I want to get back on the table. Like, I like going up
Yeah.
against 8-Bit Tendies. Like, because obviously he understands the game. He knows what he's doing, and it's always a good matchup when I go up against him. So, can't wait to get back on the table and play some of the OGs.
I need to get that yellow tag, man. That yellow tag looks so good in Discord. It's like I should have played Legends Reborn and got that yellow tag. Waiting on my invite. You're also invited to the podcast soon. No worries. We'll get a list. We actually need to get a list of like every week. Let's just invite these people to the podcast as a fourth guest. I hopped into voice chat in your Discord. All right, let's do it. I'm dragging Lou up. All right, Lou, off you go. Why is the node vote bullshit?
The people, Lou.
Well, because they first started a referral system for to sell founders nodes. Okay.
I didn't waste no time. Like, just got straight into it.
No introduction, just straight in.
No,
Welcome, Lou.
Because let me tell you, let me get on my soapbox.
Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. Let's roll.
So back in 3 years ago, you got 0.1 points. The founders node system was you got 1 point for your founders node, and then if you sold one to somebody else, it was 0.1 points. That was never going to go away, never going to change. Guess what? We don't have any of those extra points anymore. So we went around and everybody, sold founders nodes to all these other people and stuff. And I sold 10 of them. I know people that have sold way more than that to other people. And it's the exact same referral system. It's a step down. So A gets to B, B gets to C. It's a spider web program that Gala one day just decided to change and screw everybody that frickin' did all the selling and legwork to sell tons and tons of founders, thousands of founders nodes. And they just pulled it out from underneath all of us that got those extra points and everything. Then if you referred people to come and play and sign up and get a wallet, etc., you used to get Townstar NFT fountains. And after X amount of time of them giving away fountains, they decided, we're just going to stop that as well. Because we got these suckers to onboard all these people, and now we're just going to stop doing that. guarantee you it's going to be the same exact thing with this referral program, and it better not come out of founders nodes pools. It better come out of Gala's crap and not our crap. And that's the bottom line on that.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that. You leave the founders pool alone, you don't touch none of that. That stays how it is.
They can take it out of their percentage, you know, that they can take it out of their percentage that isn't penalized when they mint it once they become NFTs. You know, but our founders nodes, you know, we get penalized. And so, yeah.
You mentioned spiderweb, like, so would you say it's like one of those multi-level marketing things with a person at the top and it trickles down? And
yeah. So if I got 100 people to play, you know, for if I get 100 people for their referral program, and then each one of those gets 10 people, so I get a referral thing from those 100, plus I get the second tier only for all them for another 1,000 if each one of them got 10 people to play. So I'd get 1,100 total. I don't know if the percentage changes for that second tier down. I haven't really read into it because I'm just not even going to bother. It's just not worth my time to freaking to even get involved in any of these node vote things anymore or anything, because it's a waste of time. They're going to do whatever they want to do anyway, and that's all that there is to it.
Yep.
Thanks for coming and sharing your opinion.
For a long time, and I've seen the changes. They do one thing and it runs for a year, putting the time and energy, and then it goes. I don't know if it goes for another vote, but it ends up changing. They keep moving the goalposts.
And the problem is too with all these votes and stuff. It's they don't implement them before they start changing other stuff. So, you know, we voted for X, Y, and Z. Well, X happened, Y and Z still hasn't happened, but then we have to vote for, you know, 1, 2, and 3. And well, can we get Y and Z done before we start voting on 1, 2, and 3? Like there's no completion of stuff, and so, you know, everything's changed. Like it's just yeah. I don't. I'm sorry, but it's just a bad taste, and that's why there's tons and tons of OG people that don't have nothing to do with Gala really at all anymore, because of like.
You cut out there, just Lou.
Be that new wave.
Spider tanks. So okay, so we're not gonna. This will never be different. And then boom, they put in new chickens or whatever. They created more of the NFTs when they said that was never going to happen. I mean, Towncoin literally one of the best examples ever. Towncoin, less than 24 hours before Towncoin disappeared and was no more, Benefact was on Discord saying Towncoin is going to be the token for Townstar forever. Less than 24 hours later, Towncoin is no more. So you're going to be able to swap it to Gala. Like, how do you do that? How do you come on one day and then the next day it's gone? Like, how do you do that? I mean, that's just one example, you know, but it's like that's one of the funniest ones I can think of is Towncoin is forever Townstar, you know, token, and no, next day it's gone. It's going to be, you can convert it to Gala. Okay, sure, whatever you say, man. Like, come on. So, all right, I'm done. I'm going to exit the chat now.
No, thanks for coming on, Lou.
It's nice to get a different viewpoint.
When we need a bump of positivity, we'll bring you back in.
All right,
no,
later,
thanks
guys.
for keeping it real. Appreciate
you. Got it, man. I don't even know how to exit this damn thing. Kick me out or something.
I'll kick you out. There you go.
That's me, guys. He'll be here all night.
Oh, there you go. So that was Lou's viewpoint. He's been in Gala since 2020, I believe, and he's been there since the start. I think when the nodes were like 1,000 or 2,000, when the founders nodes were like really, really cheap. He got in with, what is it, John T, the leader of Gem, I believe. And Chuck says, so Lou is a maybe, subject to change.
Yeah, excellent.
But this was a quick page on the Gala referrals. So if you don't know, you bought a Gala node license, which basically allows you to operate a Gala node. And the Gala node distributes Gala daily to the people that operate that node. And what happens in the previous referral system is, like, as Lou said, if you invited somebody, you got 1 point, which was basically a day's worth of distro to you when you referred somebody, and they also bought a node. And you also got other referrals for like Townstar and a few other things, but that slowly did start to change. And they did remove the old referral system, I believe mid 2021 or early 2022. And they said there will be no more like that type of referral systems. So we'll have to wait and see what this new node proposal is about. But there we go. So you've got Lou's side, you've got my side. If you want to check out Dr. Wookie's as well, go to Dr. Wookie's YouTube. He's got a good breakdown on his viewpoints as well. So you can get a lot of opinions and then decide what you want to do. Next up, we have Gala Films released a roadmap a few weeks ago. You can view the roadmap in the Discord and in news.gala.com. And I believe it is an aggressive roadmap. Oh, there you go. Dr. Wookie. Look at this boss calling me out. What do you mean? I'm giving you a shout out, bro. That is the ultimate, like, how do you call it? Ultimate. Let's just shout out. Yeah, shout out. But yeah, check out Wookie's content. He's in chat right there over on Twitch. Also, check out Shadowknyte.
I was gonna watch that as well to get like a different perspective. See, I like the way Dr. Wookie breaks down a lot of stuff. It makes it very easy, and I'm like, cool. And it's short as well. Short content is cool. Oh yeah, we definitely ready for Legendary Reborn, man.
We're born ready, Wookie.
Oh, where is it?
Okay, wait.
Dr. Wookie. Right, I'll leave a link to his channel in a sec.
I got to put them over to Gala Chain, bro. It's gonna cost me like, last time I checked, it was like $300 to move all my creatures over from ETH to Gala Chain.
Legit. Where is it?
Yeah, we're with you on that. We're over the moon that they saved it. I think it's going to be the right decision. It's so well suited for a Web3 title.
Yeah.
Confirmed we got to move them over. I'm not sure. I don't know if you do have to move it over because what is it? With Last Expedition, they can pick up your NFTs and Miranda's, right? They pick up your NFTs from ETH and Gala Chain. But if you want to do a lot of the functionality that the teams have been talking about, they say you have to move it over to Gala Chain because they can keep track of all your stats. They can put it in, like, for example, the renting system, whenever that's in thing. They keep track of like levels, like whose wallet it is, if they're renting out, stuff like that. So if you're using it yourself, I'm pretty sure in either blockchain is fine, either ETH or Gala. But if you want to use all the features that come with the NFTs and whenever they get implemented by Gala or the game studio, then you will have to bridge it over to Gala Chain.
Yeah, because they spoke about the renting. I got, like I said, I got a whole bunch of creatures that I want to rent out. So obviously, I probably won't move all of them because I got like some uncommons and commons and rares that I don't think they might. I don't know what the market's like, but definitely like the ancient and the legendary ones that I have, probably move those over. So
Flexing on us.
Nah, not even. I was trying to tell you guys about my struggles. My struggles with all these creatures that I have to deal with.
Cool.
Yeah. Hopefully, they get that rented sorted out.
Yeah, especially for Legendary Reborn, right? Like the people that have the cards, they want the cards to be used. So having a renting system makes sense. I for sure will be looking at renting some folks' creatures. Yeah, well, you're talking to the right two people. I believe they have quite a lot of the Legendary Reborn stuff. I didn't get any myself because it wasn't on my radar till I started talking to Shadow and Khaos. But it's sad that Champions Arena renting is weak. Bro, we don't talk about Champions Arena Nexus. They need to fix that in Q2 or Q1. I don't know when it is, but they definitely need that. How does the rental system work?
I think we need to talk about it. Like, me, I don't really know much about it, and I feel like there's a few people out there that don't really know as well. Like, I mean, if you guys play the game a lot, it'd be really good to get like your opinions and what you guys will do differently to improve it.
So it's pointless at the moment. You can basically rent one champion for a 10-minute period every 8 hours, and
can only be used in arena.
Only use them in arena for one game. Once you finish your game, win, lose or draw, that's the rental period over. You can't do tower with it. You know, you can't try and do campaign with it. And then you get like a percentage from the victory if you get the dub, which is obviously extremely low. And then you've got a 8-hour cooldown. It's cool just for the people that are free to play. There's some people that are real dedicated, literally using that rental system twice a day, every day. Once they get to the highest they can in arena, and they're actually finishing top 200 and getting like a minting scroll. And you know, their teams they wouldn't be able to do that without the rental. But you know, that doesn't excuse the fact that it is a shockingly bad system at the moment.
A minting scroll is roughly $50, so that does help them get roughly $50. Sorry, Khaos, go ahead.
So it's just only benefits like new players or, like you said, people who are free to play.
Oh no, I use it all the time for the same thing. The last 3 days of the arena, I rent the highest level, the Kage, the Zafrina, the Durax, the Mikos if I can. And basically I get to the champion or the master arena, which is 2.2k or 2.4k points. And then I just, for the next 3 days, use every 8 hours, I try and use the best champion and then rank high and then secure my ranking. Like last season, which finished a couple days ago, I rented the level 321 rank 3-star purple Kage 2-3 times. And that managed to get me the 40 points I needed to get 2,430 something. And that bumped me up to the top 50. So instead of getting 1 minting scroll, I managed to get 2 minting scrolls. And you get 1,000 more free gems as well.
Free gems.
Yep.
I need to start putting my free 30 Beckett in there.
Oh, legit, bro. People use it so much. So the people that put in the champion in Champions Arena, they get lapis. They get a percentage of the lapis used when the champion is rented. And the people that use it, they get a portion of the lapis because it's split between the Nexus owner, the NFT champion owner, and the person who uses it. But the main use case is basically for ranking high in arena because you can't use it for anything else at the moment. You can't use it to progress in tower. You can't use it to do the campaign, which is understandable. But I wish the Champions Arena Nexus was more like a combination of the Spider Tank's drop pod and the big time renting system. So you could either like put it in for 24 hours and then anybody can use it at any time, or like big time's renting system is like, oh, I want to use this champion for like half an hour, I pay this amount of gems. I can give like more gems if I want to get priority, if there's already a list or like a queue. Like a combo of that would have been nice. Instead of like 8 hours, you can use it again if you pay 800 gems, if you want to reset your timer, but nobody's paying $80, not $80, $8 to reset a timer every time. Most people just wait out the 8 hours.
Seems like they just trying to figure out a way how to like monetize that mechanic, you know. Oh, hey, yo, you gotta wait 8 hours, but if you pay this amount of money, yo, you can reset straight away. And it's like, come on, man, find other ways to make money.
I think they're too money hungry right now.
I honestly think that they launched it this week because they was worried about it launching and being buggy or being glitchy and, you know, just not working. So they just launched it lowball. But they're just too slow. They're just, not, I don't want to shit on them and give them a hard time, but their game changes are way too slow. There's been a VP issue since the start of the game. There's literally people running a robot like 24/7, and it's just, it goes unpunished, and they're just allowed to abuse the system as much as they want. So, but the roadmap's cool. If they hit the targets in the roadmap and make the game better, they've got a real good chance. Like, it's polished as hell. It is quite fun. It's not that tactical, but it is fun, and it is a quick mobile game that people probably will be interested in. If they can fix these flaws.
Yep, I like Champions Arena because it's a good AFK like side game. Eternal Paradox takes too much time. Echoes of Empire is a good side game as well, but that needs a lot of features. It needs quite a lot of features that Eternal Paradox has, but for those of you that didn't know, this is the 2024 Champions Arena roadmap. The main things we are looking forward to is the first arena revamp and the Nexus improvement, which should be in either this month or next month, because that's Q1. And then Q2, there is the economy rebalancing, which we don't know nothing about, and the Tower of Honor. Those are the two things that I'm looking forward to in Q2 and in Q1.
Yeah, so just to touch on those, the first four things from Q1, they've hit.
Yes, let me go back
and
to
they've
that.
got a month to do the latter two.
So the Elite Gacha's been complete. The Valentine's Day event is going to be complete. Today is the last day to claim hearts, and then you still have like 4 days to exchange your hearts for prizes. So make sure you try and finish all your quests in the next 3-ish hours. The Light Battle Pass has also been released in the last couple of days, and the Tower of Trial revamp has been complete. So those are the 4 that have been complete, as Shadow said. The 2 remaining are the last 2, and then the economy rebalancing is what we're waiting on. Champions Arena, I just puked in my mouth. That is Lucifer right there. Nexus for sale, 1 ETH. There you go, NFT Chuck. Lucifer, Shadow, come join the dark side of The Walking Dead. No pressure. We'll get a game where Shadow plays The Walking Dead. I think he's played launch day and then hasn't touched it since, have you, Shadow? I think you're muted. Why is that?
Yeah, it just went kind of silent. Like, was he talking?
Yeah, I was talking. 1 sec.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, somebody's trying to bomb Shadow's stream. Yeah, cool. So we're moving on.
We've got an intruder. Intruder alert.
Alright, cool. Let's go back to the head of the game. So we have the next bit of information, which is Miranda's fireside chat, but we'll leave that because there is a thread on that I made. If you guys didn't pay attention to it, just wait a couple of minutes. We'll give you all the information about that. That is also about Miranda. So next up, The Walking Dead. The new build is now available. Ensure you reconnect your Gala Games account to the game. If logging in from the homepage doesn't work, then you have to log in using a free character, use a different name, then click on the icon underneath your profile, link it through there, and then log out and log back in, and you should be able to get all your NFTs and use your NFTs with their levels still intact. Mastery and Scrap have been reset, and for the patch notes, you can head over to the Walking Dead announcements and get all of the patch notes. And loot is hell yeah, Walking Dead, 100 levels, woohoo. So if you didn't know, the HQs from level 60 now go to max level 100. I think Lou is one of the closest people to get it to level 100. So he's pretty close. He's like 80 something, I believe. Yeah, he's definitely going to be the first.
Probably need like a Discord, whatever they call them, badge for that as well. The plushie, and then you get like a level 100 base. They'll be giving that out, you know, like when you hit level 100 with your hero, like they give out level 100 as well. Gonna be oh really 90? It's gonna be 90. Let's go, Lucifer.
Oh snap! He's 10 levels away almost. All right, cool. So yeah,
I feel like that's a problem. I feel that's a problem because Lou's done it so quick. He's done it in less than 2 weeks. You know, maybe like 10 days, 12, 11 days. Now they're gonna be like, oh, bro, we have to change this. Like, got people like Lucifer out here cutting down trees and chipping rocks 24/7. Gonna have to like make it harder. But then to be fair, the walkers that come to you have to defend, the one that comes to attack your base, they're level 1, so it is definitely a lot easier. So we just need to know like if they're gonna increase the level of the walkers as you progress, because that would definitely make it a lot more challenging.
Yep. It's also Dark Rift reached level 100. So now we get a new leaderboard, so we get to see who is the next level 100. Khaos is ranked 3rd or 2nd, I believe.
3rd. What was the current build, or just in general?
I think you're ranked 3rd overall and 2nd in the current build, right?
first now. Like, so when it comes to like gain XP, like, because
Mhm.
Wulin, I haven't seen Wulin play, so I'm currently number one in terms of amount of XP gain. But then overall, third at level 90.
All right, cool. But Walking Dead's a cool game. Just needs a few more quality of life features and content updates before I can consider it in a good state for people to enjoy and recommend. Because right now it's gather resources, upgrade your HQ, or level your character. And most people that have been playing since launch, or not launch of the persistent playtest, which was the 8th of November, they're getting kind of burnt out or bored of doing the same thing. So just give us dungeons, man. We want dungeons. Well, I want dungeons. Give us solo dungeons, group dungeons, and a party system.
Raid, like, on a boss. Let me go raid a boss, like, getting bored of killing the same walkers. Need some new. I thought they were gonna put at least 1 or 2 new walkers in this update, in different variants.
Ah, yeah, that's another point. They should have the correct level walkers for the upgrades and also give the correct XP for each upgrade for the HQ. So with this update, all walkers are level 1 no matter what you upgrade. I think that might change in a couple of weeks. They can tweak that themselves. This is, like Doug said, is to collect data, a lot of data that they need to figure out what they want to do. Just around the corner, you need to read the blog post. I will read that after we get through this. So let's move on so we can get through the additional news. Last Expedition, Gala Games plays with the dev team last week, unveiling some lore and exciting battles where players were hot dropping on the devs and the devs were doing some weird wacky combos. Also yesterday when the team announced that they will be playing with everybody in the lobby every Friday at 10 p.m. GMT for a couple of hours. One of the devs showed a really good combo of just when people were extracting, he was just standing at the base of the ship just launching grenades in the middle, and that's where everybody gathers when the core is placed. So that is a thing people should take note of and not just run a bunch of bait balls, which the devs did say they played a new build with adjusted bait balls, so the changes or nerfs is coming. Use it while you can. We've been playing quite a lot of Last Expedition here and there. I've jumped in solo quite a few times as well. You guys enjoy the game? I remember Khaos saying he was different to what you expected.
Yeah, really enjoying it. I missed the 10 o'clock play last night with the devs. I'm going to be sure to make that next Friday. I don't know if we want to stick to the weekly ritual of having a few games at the end of this stream, but I'd be down. I actually find it a real fun shooter.
Yep.
Yeah, I do enjoy it, like, especially when there's like many people playing. So if you get like 4 teams, 4, that's just madness. Epic, you know what I mean? The battles and everybody just hustling around trying to get the resources. It's so much fun. Like when it's like not that many people playing, it got a bit boring for me, which is understandable. That's with like any game. But yeah, like I said, first time I played it, I was like, oh wow, I was overwhelmed. I was like, yo, this game is actually fun. And I'm not a first person shooter person, like, bro. I don't like first person shooter games. Unless it's like a story mode, unless it's like a campaign. Like for example, Cyberpunk. Like when I played Cyberpunk, one of my favorite games, you know. But when it comes to the competitive first person shooters, not the best on the sticks. So I kinda shy away from that. But Last Expedition made the game more.
Now Khaos just cut out.
Really enjoyed that game.
You cut out the last 10 seconds. What did you say?
I cut out the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Bro, I just be talking, right? Half the time I don't know what the fuck I be saying. So we're just gonna move on.
We got ya. We got ya.
All right, cool.
Got quite a lot of people in chat today, so maybe we could actually just go over and all jump in a server and hash it out.
We could. I've messaged Tendies if he wants on to get a webcam. Also, Wookie, if you want to jump on, let me know. I'll send you the link to see if I can get that sorted. But Tendy said he got bored the first week of The Walking Dead. Lucifer said Deadcoin Premium Pass, etc. So we need to check out that information. And 100% agree, Wookie. Last Expedition was fun yesterday. If you didn't know, Wookiee was on my team and he dealt like 300 damage to the enemy team, and we got pincered on the side and he was just like blasting the enemy teams like, yo guys, where are you? I got one down, I'm dealing so much damage. And then we got flanked and I was the healer, so we didn't have healing on our team. But yeah, Wookiee's really good at shooting games, so if you see him in the last expedition weekly plays, make sure you join his team.
What character was Wookiee using?
I think he was using one of the attacks, either Alice. It wasn't healer, so either be Alice, Levi, or Jared, the tank.
I completely back up how Wookiee was feeling yesterday when you engage with a PvP player and you two just go absolute missing when it's time to push.
Hey, the second bit I managed to kill a guy when it was just two of us, and I executed a guy mid-combat and got the hell out. I'm pretty pro at hit and run tactics, not dogfights. Pretty bad at dogfights. Wookiee uses the Jackal and the shotgun, and I think I was doing mostly Alice. Yeah, so he's playing the DPS character, you could say. The full lobby was definitely hella entertaining.
Yeah, I want to get on there when it's a full lobby. Like last couple of times we've played, it's just been like us three and maybe one or two others. So to get in there while it's popping off would be real cool.
The healer is pretty OP. The healer's good when you drop and you need that initial healing, but once you get the armor pieces and then you get the bait balls, you don't generally need the healer. It's good for the dogfight, so you can duck around, go to where the healer is, heal, and then bounce. But yeah. Wookiee was mostly doing Alice, and Wookiee says the ice skin is pretty legit. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next piece of information, which is Common Ground World. The light paper is in its final stretch before being released to the public. Also, terms and conditions for each event will be posted in Discord. This week's meta item will be lasagna. So if you want to know anything about Common Ground World or the builds that you need to use for these competitions, you need to go to Dubstep Rod's channel because he covers all things Common Ground World, and he is my go-to source for Common Ground World. None of us play Common Ground World, so we're just gonna go over that. That is the information you guys need. PokerGo Play, a brand new game update last week was included a chip reset. Daily chip resets are now a thing of the past. Frames no longer retain carryover bonuses, so daily logins are required to get your chips. Now, I don't play PokerGo Play, but I'm guessing the chip reset happened automatically every day, like every 24 hours. Now you have to log in and claim your chips. It's not automatically going to stack over time, and frames no longer carry over bonuses. So that was when you purchased a frame and you say you had like 100,000 chips and your frame gave you a 2% carryover bonus, or like 8% for ancient, if I remember correctly. That would carry over from what you had, so that no longer applies. So just make sure you keep up to date with PokerGo Play announcement news if you do play the game. It is banned in the UK, and as you can see, we've got 3 UK people right here, so we can't play PokerGo Play. Exactly, boo! Let us play PokerGo Play. I love a good Texas Hold'em.
Let us gamble.
I need to put the table. Put your
I ain't carrying no chips over. It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
Cool. The next piece of news for you two. No video this week for Legendary Reborn, but there will be a spotlight work done on the card crafting feature and the action card NFT minting. Lots of effort is also going into the light paper. So I guess you guys are happy with that type of news?
Absolutely. And I think, rather than me and Khaos getting overexcited like we do every week about Legendary Reborn, we've actually got something to cover following your rundown, so we save our excitement for then.
Yeah, let's do that.
I was hoping to get like a video this week. They said no, they did say they was gonna give us a video this week, but obviously Anita was like, nah, no video this week, next week. Then I was like, well, you can give us a screenshot. Like, how long does it take to just like get like a mock-up of some pictures and just show us that? Like, that would have been cool. I guess, I can't complain. I know the guys are working real hard. They're still keeping us in the loop with what's happening. So I'm really excited to see this video next week. Hopefully we get it and then more information. But yeah, I'm super pumped for this game. Definitely one of my favorite games on the Gala, in the Gala ecosystem.
Cool. So next piece of information is for Echoes of Empire. There was a game update on February 16th. They fixed the recall cost calculation issue. So basically when you tried to recall all your ships, it was displaying the wrong amount. And now they fixed that so you can actually recall and it won't cost you a lot of credits. They also check the Discord for all the patch notes and all the features. Echoes of Empire is a good passive game. You log in, you do a bunch of things, you come back in an hour. Currently, that is the playstyle. Recently, some guy destroyed my base in Echoes of Empire. My power went from like 140k down to 0, and it forcefully teleported me. So people are still doing PvP in the game. But it is a interesting dynamic to see where the power shifts. I think the two main players right now is Math, the Gala Collective as one, and then Zeta's Guild as the other, because those are the ones that I've been seeing going back and forth. Next is regarding the Gala Games play. They enjoyed playing The Walking Dead with the community this week. They will be playing Lethal Company on Friday, which was yesterday. Now, I get why they play the other games, but I really do wish Gala just played their own games. Like, not many people are here to see Gala play other games. They're here for the Gala game side. Even if you don't do Gala Games plays, just do like a music thing or a film thing. Just make it relative to the Gala ecosystem, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I see the tactic. They think they might get some outside exposure by playing other titles, but I think just be proud of the work that you're doing, and get that out there. We're approaching showtime now, so now's the time they need to double down on their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. Like, I mean, yeah, like I said, I understand why they're doing it, but it's like, after what, how many weeks, how many months, it's not working, then like, just go on to something else. I would prefer to watch other play like their games. Like I've never really logged into a stream where they're playing like a different game, but every time they play one of their games, whether it's Last Expedition, Walking Dead Empire, Legends Reborn, when it was available to play, or anything else, I've always been there. Like, cause I play those games myself. I'm excited for those games. Cool, because you get like a different perspective from when somebody else plays a game that you play. Yeah, that total different perspective from the game and how they play, and you might learn you might learn something like by watching.
For those of you who don't know why we're laughing, Chalk just redeemed a sound alert, which is the fart alert. And I've said that farts don't work on the podcast because we'd get a whole load of weird sound alerts going through when we're discussing a bunch of things, and that would throw us off. So I've made sure to disable the sound alerts. If you want to interact with the stream, then make sure you check out when I stream, because you have all the weird and wacky features
I'll
to
try and
interact.
rustle one up for you, Chuck.
Just put the mic. All right, cool. The final thing for ahead of the game is Champions Arena. The Light Pass is now available, and there's a new Battle Pass featuring a new champion. A sale is happening currently in game for legendary equipment, and the third batch of gems has been distributed for those who opened the Mystic boxes before February 24th, I believe. I don't like the legendary equipment sale. That's just looks like they're just there to take the money from the people playing the game. Fix the game first, fix the Arena VP, fix the Nexus, then introduce something else. You already did the Mystic box sale. Why are you introducing like another legendary equipment sale? Just spend. I get it's a mobile gacha game, a mobile auto battler game, and those type of games have these loot mechanics, and this is standard for a Web 2 mobile gacha game. But you're a Web 3 game and you're trying to win or recover trust in the community. So fix your game first, then add all this extra stuff. What do you guys think?
Completely agree. I think we had a discussion on it earlier in the week when they announced this. Like, if they had fixed the game, these sort of sales would be like applauded, and there would be like some hype surrounding them. But everyone has such a bad taste in their mouth about the broken items that it just comes across, and everyone just goes cash grab, which it is. Like, just there's some major broken mechanics at the moment. Like, fix those and then sell what you want. Touching on the the light battle pass, like I've been atting Tiami and Liam all this week because it only gives you 25 soul selectors, which I don't think for £10 or $10 gives any value to the players. I've been requesting for this to be raised to 50, which I think would be a real fair amount, and I would buy it each month if it was at that price point for that many soul selectors. It gives you a load of free books, so you got
I think that's the main thing.
You get a chance of like pulling a champion, but I just don't think that's enough. I'd rather it had like more upgrade stones in it. It does have quite a lot of upgrade stones, but I'd rather have loads of stones, 50 souls. I think it'd be a much better value for money.
I think it's a matter of perspective, because you're in like the top 20 in arena ranking. You've got a good team, you've got decent equipment. So what you need is stones and the soul stone selectors. But for new people that are getting into the game, having 10 premium books and 40 normal books for I think £8.49 is a really good value for them, because they get a chance to pull legendary and epic champions. They get a chance to start making their team. And I think this week it's 2 epic auras as well. So you managed to get one of the auras which you can't obtain in game right now. The only way you can get it is through events, or if you participated in the closed beta testing. So I think the current light battle pass is amazing for new players. If you're starting, it's a good thing to get. If I started again, I would buy it right now. I think it's just a matter of perspective, because you've been playing since the launch, and then this is like a light version for new people or people that just started like a month ago. Compared to, I also agree with you, in my position where I am, I've got a team sorted. I need enchantment stones, I need soul stone selectors, so I would agree that I would like that to be included. But from a different perspective, the £8 or like $9.99, I think, if the conversion is right, for a tenner, basically you can get roughly 50 summons, 40 summons that can include soul stones, and then 10 actual summons which can include a legendary champion or an epic champion, because the rates were buffed recently. And I've seen quite a lot of people pulling legendaries as posting in the Discord, which is good to see. That is what the changes that we did need when we were summoning. It's like, I wanted the chance to get a legendary, and I see all these people pulling legendaries. Like, where are you guys getting all the good stuff? Back in my day, we had a 0.025% chance, and you guys have a 1.9% chance.
But just that one change from them, them 5 soul selector piles to doubling them to 10,
mm-hmm.
Guaranteed all players, not just new players, would buy it every month.
Yeah, do agree with that. Oh,
right, you already know my opinion on Champions Arena. I agree with Lou, bro. Like when I first started playing the game, I really enjoyed it. I was like, yo, this is a fun game. But then from early, I can see like the predatorial entrapment when it came to like getting people to spend money. Like when I play games, I'm really competitive. Like I always want to be at the top, and you guys see that from like the time that I put into these games. Like most of the games I play, I'm always at the top, and I don't really spend a lot of money, if not any money, with most of these games. I'm playing Champions Arena, and I felt like the only way is like, no matter how skillful I am or how much time I put into the game, like there was no way for me to consistently stay at the top without spending a shit ton of money. Like I played loads of games that have in-app purchases, freemium games where like it's free to get in, and then you have to pay a little bit to be competitive and whatnot. I played FIFA, I played Madden, I played 2K. You know what I mean? I spent money in those games and I was still competitive. Champions Arena is in a whole. To me, like Champions Arena is like a casino. I see it like as a casino, but not like a casino where you go to like gamble money. I see it as a casino where like the house always win. Like they got certain mechanics where no matter what you do, they're always gonna make money and they're always gonna win. Like whether you win, lose, or you go to the summoning altar and like you manage to get a champion or you don't get a champion, they're still gonna make the money regardless. Like, and I was like, yo, after that, I'm out, bro. I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, to play the game to enjoy it, yeah, it's cool. You could just play the game, not spend any money, still enjoy it. But like I say, any game that I play personally, I want to be like in the top 5 or number 1, and I just couldn't do that. My bank account wouldn't allow me, bro. I call up Barclays. I was like, yo, can I get a loan? And they're like, why? It's like, I gotta play Champions Arena. That's like, the fuck out of here. We're not gonna give you a loan. I was like, alright, cool.
I'll save that second spot for you on Legends.
Nah, hell no. But yeah, so that's me with Champions Arena. I'm glad people are still playing. I'm glad people are still enjoying it. I'm happy that the game's still around. But yeah, my bank account, like, it don't work like that, bro. It don't work like that.
We have said quite a lot of negative things about Champions Arena, but Liam has, with Liam's AMA, if he implements everything that he does say, I think it's going to be amazing for the game. And the recent small minor changes that he's added is in the right direction. Just slow down on the sales a little bit and give us more of the updates before you do a couple more sales. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, less sales, more game design.
Yep. Cool. All right, so that is ahead of the game. The final section was Anita answering questions from YouTube and Discord, but we didn't have any of the questions, the answers that you needed to know. It's mainly just general information here and there. So let's move on to the Miranda's Fireside Chat. Now, Miranda's is the game that is going to make or break Gala, in my opinion. And there was an offline meeting February 12th in Texas for people who could attend that location. You can see an image here. There's quite a few people that we do know, like Fortune Crypto, Timbo Slice, Las Vegas Lance, Captain Nero, I'm guessing. There was also Cool and Dr. Wookie and Virtual. So you need to figure out which one is Dr. Wookie, which one, I think we've seen Cool. He has posted himself, and which one is Virtual. That is the mini trivia game right now. And you also have the team. You got McCarthy there. You got Jay Hughes there. And quite a lot of other people. So you can find this on my Twitter or X, you can say, and it's the thread of all the information I do post after I deem a AMA or ahead of the game episode to be useful information. So let's move on to the video showcasing. It was a 2-hour AMA, so this is basically a rundown of what happened in that fireside chat. The video showcased the team what I've been working on a weekly basis. These videos are used in their internal meetings and are not specifically for the fireside chat. So it's basically the videos they send to each other because they work remotely. So it's like, oh, I did this week, I did this week, and they're using that footage on the fireside chat. There was a lot of beeping because apparently a lot of information was leaked. Well, not leaked, but was said in those videos that the team didn't want to make public yet. The names of certain things, the lore of certain things, the mechanics of certain things. I think when one designer was talking, like 80% was like beep 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 beep, the beep 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 beep, the beep 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 beep, and that was funny to see.
R2D2.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yo, Prospector, what's happening? Good morning over on YouTube. Lou, all these games need to get rid of the daily spending pool and have a fixed pool, public wallet to see what it is in. Let the pool grow, so that is where a dip in sales, and then the games can sustain rewards for an X amount of time before the pool depletes. I've been telling Bitbend all the time, you just need to get rid of the daily payouts. The daily payouts isn't a thing. The daily leaderboard thing is not how you make games. You need to, the web gaming has battle tested how rewards and economies work for the last 30 years, right? Just make a Web 2 game, add the blockchain technology side, stop trying to force economies and stop trying to force tokens into areas that don't work. If it does work, then sure, put the tokens in there. Just have NFTs in the sections that work with NFTs. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the next change is. It's do or die with Miranda's now. Legit, it's make or break. I like your idea. Make and earn NFTs in game. Yeah, legit. Half the games don't need tokens. For example, MMORPGs, the end game loot, the crafted loot, the resources, they're NFTs. You trade them between the people, or you have a marketplace where you can trade it for Gala or in-game currency. Battle Royales, MOBAs, RTS games, all of those games, you play the game, you get a loot box like CSGO, that box contains an NFT skin. If the NFT skin is valuable, you can trade it between people. Like PUBG, Fortnite type games, you play the game, you get a bunch of points, you use the points to craft skins, you sell those skins or items in games. You don't need to give token payouts in majority of these games. NFTs are basically all you need. Tokens do work in some games. For example, Miranda's is like the mana. So it's not the main way you're getting rewarded. You'll get rewarded other ways in Miranda's, but it is one way. So if you can combine 2 or 3 things into one, then yes, then it makes sense. But if that's your main thing, I don't think it's going to work like that.
I completely agree. Like CA missed a massive trick by not making weapons and armor NFTs. That would have brought in even more money for their pockets, which is obviously what they want. And it
Legit.
also would have made there would have been a lot more transactions on OpenSea, which would have obviously increased the expenditure on OpenSea, and that's obviously how people find stuff on OpenSea by volume. So yeah, they should have done that.
Yep, I completely agree with that. I'm just gonna switch it back. They could just make it so 2.5 or 5% tax every time somebody sells an equipment, and they take that as profit. And I believe they would have made so much money with that instead of restricting the market, making everything pay gems, etc. Like the equipment trading back and forth right now is really difficult to do because they added that 15-minute to an hour timer. They've added the listing fees and the deposit fees and all of that. If they make the market open, they just make it where people can list their items. You can still have the slots, so people can only list a certain amount of slots depending on the estate level, but just make the economy a player-driven economy and make it free. I think the game will do amazing like that. All right, moving on to the next bit. So the first video shown was a part of the geography and the terrain they've been working on. They also showcased several additional plants, ores, and what could possibly in the next playtest. So compared to what it was in 2021 and what it is now, I think the updated graphics and the software that they've revealed is amazing. What do you guys think?
I didn't check it out, so kick me straight over to Khaos.
Yeah, no, I must have missed that bit. Was that with the
Okay.
reward?
No, the art,
What did it say?
the 2021 playtest, and like this is the structural updates, the trees, the geography, and all of that.
Oh, I mean, obviously, I'm excited for the next playtest. They said that at the beginning they're not gonna have earnings, but eventually they would like to get being ability to earn materium. So I'm super excited for that. Definitely want to like test out the new battle mechanics they're gonna have compared to like the other playtests that we had. But yeah, I'm all for any form of earnings in playtests.
Legit. So we'll get to the information, but there'll be 2 place tests this year for Mirandus. One will be a like testing one, which is where the team wants to get as much data as possible, and the one after that will be the one where you could possibly start earning materium. So the lighting is still not done correctly in most of these images, and it is something that will be worked on and constantly improved. So don't think this is going to be the final section of the lighting in Mirandus. And also one of the reasons they switched from URP was to account for the hundreds of people running around with torches. These are dynamic lights. Towns are also dynamic lights. So what dynamic lights means, basically, if I move a torch from here to here, the lighting follows the torch and it changes with the environment. Static lights basically means like this light right here is just showing in this face and it's not moving in the corner. So because Mirandus is going to be scary at nighttime and a lot of people do need light sources, if you have a Lantern of the Sun, you're good. You just want to hug the guy that has the Lantern of the Sun. But if you don't, you're going to be having to craft torches. And they did showcase a torch in game. Let me just quickly scroll down to see if I can find it. It's right here. So this is what a torch is. It's basically a render of a club and then a fire on top. It has durability and etc. But we'll get to that in just a sec. Let's continue with this right now. There will also be 4,000 players in the zone. That is what they're aiming for. I believe Hughes said that. Jay Hughes said that. And McCarthy also did mention along that. So 4,000 people in the zone is mental. Albion Online, I believe, had 500 to 1,000 people. And after that, you had to wait in queues for people to zone in because it would get really, really laggy. So having a benchmark or thingy as 4,000 is mental. All right. The next video played was the animation for both humans and creatures, showcasing the movement, walking, and several other animations. Did you guys see that? Most of them looked amazing. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I saw that. I was really impressed, like the way that, because obviously looking at what it was before to whereas now, it makes it more immersive. Like before, it looked janky, you know what I mean? And they had very limited animations, but like the animation that they showcase, and this is just the beginning. Like it's gonna be crazy to see what they're gonna achieve when the game actually, progresses. But I was really impressed. Like it makes you, like I say, very immersed in this world to the point you're like, all right, that goblin is like small, I can go after that one. And then when you see one of the goblins that's like, I don't know, huge,
Mike
humongous,
Tyson.
picking up a boulder about to throw at your head, you're like, I don't want to mess with that dude, you know? But yeah, so it was
Legit.
really good to see that.
Yeah. This is just one screenshot of the animations. There were like several things that were posted, and it is amazing. Next up, we have the next post, which is the next section, was how the team applies shaders and textures to the animation models and how they can apply it several to one model since they have split the 3D model into a section. Now, I did have a image of that, but I guess I didn't place it. Basically, they saw a goblin model like the one you see here. And for example, the top part of the chest is a section, the middle part of the chest, the arms, the face, etc. And they can apply different textures to different things. So that is interesting to see. And the subsection was all about blood. They want to make Miranda's gory and how it interacts with the screen. They want it to be visceral, and they need it to be because it is a hardcore MMORPG and Miranda's is meant to be hard. Also, they showcase flowing water, river, and beaches. What did you guys think of the blood and the water physics?
Yeah, I really liked it. Very impressed with that. I like the way when they were showing how they create, how the blood comes out the body, and they were showing at different angles how it sprays. Like one of those Japanese animation or Japanese movies where the blood just like comes out, and I was like,
Kill Bill.
Yeah, like Kill Bill. So I was like, yo, that was sick. I like that. Yeah, and it's just the way that it was designed, like, it was really cool.
I must say, since I last actually checked into Miranda's, the art style has actually come so far.
Yep, compared to 2021, 2023 is amazing. And the reason it is this art style, you guys have to remember, they're trying to make it so 4,000 people could be in a zone. You're not going to get Unreal Engine 5 and ultra realistic graphics for this type of game. It's going to be low poly, like low mesh quality, so 4,000 people can be in a zone. Now, when maybe more than 1,000 people are in a zone, some people are going to get referred back to a default model, and the people around you will be their high quality models. So just be careful. Don't expect 4,000 people to pop up with their epic looking gear and shiny lights and glowing rings all in one go. It'd be put into like how games do it with render distance, etc. Now, this is the blood splatters, and this is the water features, rivers and lakes. So another thing they said that is when the water hits the sand, you actually see quite a lot of the dry sand, or like the dry sand on the top and then the wet sand. And then after a couple of cycles, it turns into normal sand. So I really like that feature. If it impedes your movement in game, it should be interesting. Ooh. And then boom. Hey, there we go. I have invited 8-Bit Tendies just in time for the Miranda's talk, because 8-Bit Tendies is also a really, really big Miranda's fan. Let me switch over to this. Hello.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
It works,
Yeah,
yes.
welcome, buddy. How's it going?
Oh, wow, wicked. That's so cool.
Look at him go. You're a pro, Smiling.
Legit, that's why I was looking at this section. I was messaging Tendies, yo, give me the link, mute the Discord, join this section, and then I can get you in.
Do that all in the background, bro. Legend.
Legit.
Yeah, what do you think to run the stream?
Just go to my Twitch or YouTube, whatever it is. If you go to Twitch, I think the delay is less, so you can see what it's actually happening. YouTube has like a 30-second delay. This way allows me to customize it a bit more. Yeah, but welcome, Tendies, man. For the people that don't know you, introduce yourself. And what do you think of Miranda's?
Hold on, let me close out this browser here. Yeah, man, I'm 8-Bit Tendies. I'm a Web3 content creator, but I'm also a Gala music artist. I've been in the Gala Games ecosystem for, I don't know, what seems a few years now. So you guys can check out my channel if you want to see some of the previous content that I've made. But yeah, man, I'm most excited for Miranda's out of all the games. So I was pretty excited from what I saw in the last previous AMA. I'm not a big shooter fan, so I haven't really been playing Last Expedition or some of the other games, but Miranda's is what I'm waiting for. And Legend, and what's it called? The TCG.
Legendary Fold.
Got three legendary born top 10 people right here. I feel left out now, guys. Like, all of you have yellow names, and I've got this weird ass gold name. I feel left out.
Yo, 8-bit tendies, I want to ask you a question. Like, what's the meaning behind your name? Like, was it just a random name you created? Like, every time I see your name, I was like, 8-bit tendies is such a cool name. Like, where did that even come from?
Yo, because tendies is basically like a degenerate term. I got that from Wall Street Bets. So like when everyone was like, the GameStop thing was happening and everyone was into crypto, the previous bull run, they called digital gains tendies. So that's where the tendies name comes from. And then 8-bit is just a gaming reference. And you know, I'm 36, going on 37 now, so I grew up on retro 8-bit gaming. So I just combined the two. I figured, like, what's a gaming plus Web3 reference I could smash together? And so 8-bit tendies is where I got that.
I thought it had something to do with chicken tenders, so I'm glad you cleared that up.
What is the icon?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of just chicken.
Yeah, we're not gonna go back to the chicken, okay? That chicken was last week.
Episode 4.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it just so happens too that with the Vox and the chicken get plucked game that came out, their little avatar, you know, is synergetic to my name too. So I combined that in there as well as my profile shot now.
Yeah, there you go, 8-bit tendies. If you quickly check the cam browser and mute the mic in that browser, I think there might be a little bit of an echo or reverb.
Okay, what about now?
Ah, there you go. There we go. I
Okay,
think that fixes it. All right, cool.
Okay, perfect.
So that is 8-bit tendies. Now onto the Mirandas. What did you think of the recent fireside chat? I know you must have watched it, bro. I saw you chatting in the fireside chat.
Yeah, I was in there. I think I left like maybe 5 minutes before it ended, but I was in there. I was actually driving and in the middle of work trying to catch it all. But like I said, I'm pretty excited with a lot of the progress that the team has done. It's the game that I'm most excited about, and I'm in that mindset of like, Gala really needs to knock this out of the park. I think Mirandus is really going to save Gala because, you know, throughout, you know, what they've been putting out, like they put out one game and then lose two, right? So I've been experiencing what's happening with like Spider Tanks and Superior and all the other games, and where I really see like the Web3, the blockchain element, like flourishing is in a game like Mirandus, and it seems like it's one of those games within the whole ecosystem that like everyone is excited about. You could tell by like how when the mystery boxes and all that come out, they just kind of sell out immediately. But when it comes to like the fireside chat, the recent one, like everything that the team has been doing, it's just getting me excited. And it seems like the dev team like really knows what the fuck they're doing. So it's one of the only games too where like, you know, this is what we wish and what we're asking for when it comes to like Vox 2, where like the dev team is kind of showing progress and keeping the community in the loop and inviting the community out to take part in decisions that are going to be made in the game. So I like to see that as well, because that's also like what this whole Web3 blockchain thing that we're trying to build is about, is where like the community can come in and make these decisions before these games get fully fleshed out. So I'm pretty excited about what's going on.
If you guys didn't know, I believe Tofu, who is a really big Vox fan, has recently made a Chattervox channel. So for the people that miss Chattervox, you can actually go to YouTube and then get the weekly episodes. Some of the information has been removed because the dev team has asked them to do it. But here is the Chattervox channel. It is the Chattervox as the handle. So make sure you check out, I believe it's Tofu and Jeff Saylor, or Hefe, I believe they pronounce it like that. But basically, the Voxverse is a metaverse game designed by Will Wright and made by Gala Games. If you guys didn't know, this is a community channel that covers the Voxverse news information. It will also be extended to other Vox-related projects. For example, I think Wookie is working with Neil, the person from The Rep, to make a like battle royale Fortnite type Vox game. Then there's also Crypto Man Ran, who's made the Vox fighting game. So all of that information will soon be available here. And also check out 8-Bit Tendies' channel here. He makes a lot of content for Gala Games and whatever he likes. He also streamed Cyberpunk one time, and it is chicken nuggets, or is it tendies, like chicken strips?
well, yeah, that's It's tendies is the term for like digital gains, and tendies is also, you know, what you call chicken nuggets. So.
Double pun. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's a double, triple pun, however you want to put it.
All right, cool.
You covered the fight, the Big Boy fight.
Yeah, bro, that was fucking nuts, man. I streamed that whole thing yesterday. That was,
Oh, there you
I
go.
mean, one of the most shocking things I've ever seen.
I was really impressed with Big Boy's yeah. Because obviously I know about him, and he's like a punk, innit? I don't really like him for what he's done to his community. But after saw him take part in that fight, I was like, I had to give him his props for stepping into the ring and training for it, you know, like, because he could have just went, I'll do it, but he actually put time into the train and whatnot. So so I was like, all right, I'll give him his props for that.
Yeah, props to anyone that actually gets in there under the lights.
Yeah,
landing a couple of haymakers.
That's a respect.
I saw that clip.
Yeah, that you got to give respect to anyone who steps in a ring, no matter, I guess, what their background is. But I can't say that I wasn't betting against him. I wanted to see him go down based on like all his previous reputation within the Web3 community. But he did his thing, so
yeah, most definitely agree.
Also, for the people that don't know, 8-Bit Tendies and Bobby Millette are the same person. I know quite a lot of people were shocked when they figured that out, but it is the same person. So 8-Bit also does music for Gala Music, and you can check out his songs here. So they are the same person.
I remember the day Bitbender figured that out. It was live on stream. He was like, wait, they're the same people. He's like Batman. It's like by day he's just this regular guy, and at nighttime fixing it up in the studio. And I was dying like when BB figured that shit out for the first time.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. I mean, but you know, to his credit, you know, he wasn't within the Gala music ecosystem for a while. You know, by his statement, he wasn't allowed in there back in like the Bucks era. So he didn't really have a lot of interaction in there until recently. And so now he's been in there a lot and kind of interacting with the whole Gala music community. So it's nice to see him in there.
When BitBoy versus Bitbender, see money. What are you talking about, bro?
I'll pay to see that.
I think Bitbender's like 6'6" or 6'8", and he's got a lot of weight on him. But one punch is like legit.
Benefactor's actually got legit martial arts background. He'd kick his ass.
Yeah, it's Benefactor.
Oh, Benefactor versus Bitboy. That'd be an interesting fight. Tendies versus Classy. This isn't an MMA thing where you just pick two people you know and then you just go like a face.
People want it. They've been calling for it. Tendies versus Classy.
Oh, let me minimize this.
I don't think Classy wants that smoke. I don't think Classy wants that smoke.
All right, we're getting kind of sidetracked. Let's get back to the Miranda's fireside chat.
You want that smoke?
All right, so the next the next part of the fireside chat showcase different cemeteries. The new design is awesome. I definitely prefer this design over the previous version. Additionally, there were several level designs and biomes also showcased in the fireside chat. There was also a lot of beeping in this part, so half the information was locked. But so this is a basic design of what the cemetery. Let me mute my phone. It's pinging. Well, I keep it up just in case my wife messages me. But yeah, legit. My wife's message is alert, and then my normal message is the message. So if it's alert, it's like, oh, you gotta stop what you're doing and then go check what it is. But yeah, this is the cemetery design. I like the feel of it. They also said when somebody does revive from the cemetery, you could also hear the bell. So if you hear like several bells in succession, you know something's happening out in the world where a lot of people are dying. Maybe they're fighting a troll or they're fighting a boss, etc. That was good to know. I do like the incense and the whole aspect like that. You can see the scale here. This is what a normal site exemplar will look like. So it is quite a large building. in that aspect. And you can see this is what purgatory looks like. So when you die in Miranda's, they have a thing that you will go to purgatory and you can take your time to reform. It will cost you materium to get back out there right away, or you can spend time there contemplating why you died. And if it's worth the healer actually rezzing and going back to heal the team, or waiting in purgatory for everybody to turn up and be like, I told you so, guys, you need to pay me more. We'll talk about that in just a sec too. But what do you guys think of the cemetery and the purgatory ideas? Yes, let's start.
I like the design, everything. I'm not going to talk much about it, but I just like the whole concept, and the idea of like you could just chill there and wait. If they have like stuff for you to do while you're chilling, I guess people wouldn't mind just waiting. Or can you like log out and then go choose a different character while your other character just chilling there or waiting for the cooldown? That'd be interesting to know. But yeah, I love the design. So yeah.
What about you, Tandy?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the idea, man. I like the idea of purgatory, and I like what they were saying where, you know, if you guys are doing a raid or you guys are in an area and one of your teammates dies and another teammate dies, it's a place for you to kind of hang out and talk about and strategize what you're going to do next before you res. So maybe, you know, you got a few guys that die, they're in purgatory, and then you're like, all right, well, what are we going to do next? How are we going to take this on? Where are we going to res? So it's a cool idea. I like the concept. It's pretty dope. It adds to that like Miranda's mystique.
Mm-hmm. One thing the team does need to pay attention to is there was a game that I used to play called Allods Online, and they also had a purgatory system. But what happened is when you get in the purgatory, if the whole team arrives in purgatory, one person stays on the raid or whatever you're doing outside in the overworld, and then you disband your party and then reform the party in purgatory. That reset quite a lot of the terrain around where the people died. So it respawned the mobs, it respawned the bosses, respawned the loot tables. So just a quick information for the Miranda's team. If you do a purgatory, make sure you can't reform parties inside the purgatory or leave your parties in the purgatory, because sometimes that can mess up a bunch of code that you didn't know it was going to mess up. It was basically like an exploit where you had 5 dungeons a day, but if you reformed your party in purgatory, you were cranking out like 50 to 60 dungeons a day, and that flooded the market with like legendary and epic and mystic equipment. So just keep that in mind when you do introduce a purgatory system around a like boss area or a resource area that has a lot of mobs or a hotspot. But yeah, I'm also interested to see how this plays out. Oh, so the next bit, oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying dealing with exploits in a Web3 game where, you know, this is essentially real money is going to be interesting. And basically they said 100%. That like if there's any exploits found with like Materium or people doing something funny, they're just going to take the game down immediately to try to fix it.
I 100% agree with that. And I also believe if there is a period of time, so for example, the exploit is found and the team discovers it like 2 hours after, they should also roll back those 2 hours, because that has messed up the economy. Quite a lot of games do not try and do rollbacks, but this is a Web3 game. This is going to be an MMORPG. This is going to be the game that makes or breaks Gala. So even though some people get lucky during those 2 hours that weren't exploiting, they find like a class or a blueprint or whatever, that's just going to be collateral damage to make sure the overall ecosystem doesn't get destroyed by this exploit, bug, or hack. And I believe rollbacks and taking down is 100% the right move to go. It's interesting to see. I wish The Walking Dead did that when they added the bugs for the 6 times walker spawn, because that is the only thing that The Walking Dead was saving was levels, and that basically increased your levels because you were farming zombies a lot more faster. So if they took that down or fixed it earlier than instead of leaving it up on a week. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how the other teams do it.
But how do you think they'll deal with, like, let's say you're somehow able to find some exploit and mint a shit ton of Materium or something, and that's in your wallet now? Will they be able to roll that back, take that back out of your wallet, or do you end up with a shit ton of Materium?
Better check it on chain, won't they? And I guess they can just give that player the option to be honourable and return it, or just get the ban hammer.
Well, when Gala upgraded from Gala V1 to V2, there was like a list of things that they added to V2 that they can do. And I don't know if one of those things in that list is basically block certain tokens or certain accounts from doing certain things if they find you to be a bad actor. But if it is true, it's going to be interesting to see how they implement it, because I believe one of the lines is they can stop operations at any time and halt the chain, if I remember reading that correctly. And people like, well, that's not exactly something you want to do. But in the aspect of what you just said, if somebody finds an insane exploit, you want everything to come to a stop, them to fix everything and then relaunch it. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how Gala V2, and then I guess the same type of stuff for Gala V2 will be kind of introduced in Materium, because it's Gala making the tokens. So we'll have to wait and see how they do that. But on your question of like what would happen, I think either they give the person the option to either burn the Materium, return it to Gala, and Gala send it to a burn wallet, or basically all of his stuff gets blacklisted, his account gets blacklisted, his IP gets blacklisted, all of his NFTs, if it's playing from his, well, I guess you can transfer it to another wallet, but they'll get a good idea to figure out if it's the same person playing or he sold it to somebody else or moved on, etc. It's a tough call. We just have to wait and see how they handle it.
Yeah.
But as you said, Web3 gaming is a new frontier. So anybody that is building in this space, good luck to you. You're stepping on landmines every step you take. All right, the next section was languages in Miranda's, languages, runic languages, and glyphs. So quite a lot of it is blurred out, but you can see that they developed certain languages for the game that the players might be able to use in the future. But currently the NPCs and like the monsters are using it. It can eventually be used in games. They showcase several different ones. This is just one of them that was really blurred out because I don't think they want to share that information with us right now. And the next bit was Jason's monologue on the tech side. The first bit focused on restructuring the entire asset bundle. So the reason why Miranda's was slow for quite a bit is because they had a build in 2021. And then when Gala grew massively, they got a bunch more team members for Miranda's, and they switched to certain systems to other systems. They had to redo a whole lot of code and a whole lot of library and structures. So those of you that don't know programming, mainly a lot of the things is just libraries and files and locations of certain things that you're pulling and referencing when you do type of code. So you type in that, pull this mesh from this library, and if it's not sorted out properly, it can lead to issues when you are pulling the asset or the texture pack or the model. And having a fully entire asset bundle sorted out is one of the main things that most developers do need, because when I was in uni, I studied games technology, so I know a bit of coding. Well, not a bit. I know how to code, I know how to animate, I know how to create models and textures, so I understand some of the stuff that they did say. Once they start going advanced mumbo jumbo, it gets kind of lost on me, but I do understand why they spent a lot of time redoing the whole asset bundle and not focusing on the gameplay side. So this is a wallpaper that they release every Wednesday, and the wallpaper Wednesdays aren't just wallpapers, they're actually level designs in games, and they make it a reality. So I believe if you looked at the previous one, which is this was a wallpaper Wednesday from a couple of months ago, and now it is actually in game in the world of Miranda's. They just need to texturize it. This is just a gray model. So don't think the wallpapers are just wallpapers, they're actually level designs in Miranda's, and this is what it will look like. Let's just quickly run over the tech side of Jason's monologue. Everything has now been reorganized into proper asset bundles and aim to reduce the download and loading times for the game. So when you download a patch for the game, and since Miranda's is going to be a live game service, so every couple of weeks or months, they're going to be introducing new features into the game, you're going to make that download as low as possible. You don't want the team, you don't want the players, to be downloading like 2-3 gigs every time there is a new patch. You want it so anytime there is a new patch, you just include the new patch items, and then it gets introduced into the client and the library, and it reduces the downtime from players actually playing the game. So that is another good thing that the team has worked on. Also, guys, feel free to jump in whenever you want. I'm just going to quickly breeze through these things. If you want to add input, feel free to just start talking. Other things that...
Technical stuff is just let me play the game, bro. I want to play the game. I don't
2026
behind it, the coding. I just need
to
get a sword, cut Goblin's head off, bro.
Well, there is 2 playtests coming this year, and we'll get into that in just a sec. So you get to the gameplay side in just a sec, Khaos. But people need to know what the team's been going, so they don't feel like, oh, Miranda's has just been sitting there for 6 months doing nothing. No, they've been doing stuff behind the scene. So Jason has also been working on a real-time speech thing in game. So when you're in the location, it is also developed by distance as well. So if they're next to you, you will hear them louder. And if they're away from you, you'll hear them more quieter or more softer. He's also done a phase pitch shifter, which I believe is used for the NPCs. And you can hear like guttural voices from certain NPCs and then like people talking with the pitch shifter. The in-game voices are also a thing. It's like proximity chat. When Escape from Tarkov introduced proximity chat, the game went from like a 10 to like a 12, apart from all the hacking and cheating that goes into the game. But proximity chat opens up the game to some of the most fun shenanigans that you can have in any game. And I'm interested to see how Miranda's uses proximity chat, because you're not going to be in Discord with a bunch of random people that you meet or adventuring. So it's nice to tell them in game, like, oh, you want to team up? You want to kill a couple of wolves? I need like 5 more, this and that. Obviously, you're going to play with your guild and you're going to be in Discord, but it's nice to talk to random strangers every now and again. And then we move on to the Mint Manager. So the Mint Manager got written. It allows Materium to be used in game. It has to be on Gala chain. So this is the back to where we were talking about the NFTs on, for example, Miranda's side. So it can read your NFTs on Ethereum and it can read your NFTs on Gala chain. But to use your Materium in game, it will have to be on Gala chain, because if it's on Gala chain, the team has more access to information and more use case of like features to use on Gala chain. So if you want to use your Materium, I would consider looking at a way to transfer it over to Gala chain, either swap it with somebody else as P2P. Make sure you get a third party involved if you don't know the person or if you don't trust the person. P2P is always risky. Just be careful how you do it. That's just one way you can do it, or you can trade and bridge it yourself, depending on the bridging fees. The next bit is, it is also where the designers will have access to the spawn rates. So what this basically means is, if it's on Gala chain, they will know how much Materium is getting pumped into the game, how much Materium is used daily, how much Materium is being held, and they will get a lot of information and how to select certain rates. Or Gala swap. Oh, that's coming soon, C Money. Don't spoil it for the people. They got to wait for that news. But yeah, Gala swap. Yeah, it's going to be a thing. Cool. So that is all about the Materium, and Materium rewards will be in the second playtest. The first playtest we'll get to in just a sec, but that is going to be more of a battle test or a tech test. The network-led system, so how objects move around the world. They have showcased how it works with a deer and yellow and blue boxes. So a quick rundown. This is the game view of what it looks like, him standing right here. And then you can see the yellow, I believe, is where they are going, and the blue is where they are going, and the yellow is the server. So when he gets closer, the blue dots start getting closer to the yellow dots. And if you're further away, you don't need to render that. So it is a more of a distance. This basically helps with the game and your basically function of the game. And as you can see here, this is the asset library here. This is the asset, this is the asset library bundles. This is what is in the current scene. This is the current command node, and this is what they have to clear. This is basically a Unity outline. So this is the asset bundle, what they restructured. And then all of this stuff is probably mumbo jumbo to you guys, but it is basically how you build the game and how they are building Miranda's. Next on, we move on to Eric T has been doing all sorts of AI stuff. So Miranda's will have some sort of AI stuff in game. It's starting to show that the monsters are smart with the AI Eric pack cohesion has been worked on. So in the previous playtest that we had, you could whack a goblin or you could whack a wolf, get its aggro, stand on top of a tree or a rock, and continuously whack it, and it wouldn't do anything because it was automatically aggro to you. Aggro means aggression or like a threat meter per se, and you could farm resources like that. Now somebody has been on the team working in pack mechanics and actual intelligence to these mobs. So for example, a wolf pack will hunt in a pack, and if there's like 6 wolves and there's one of you, they will spread out to try and catch you. They will catch you to a distance they seem that is good. And if they don't feel like they can win, they will retreat. If they're not beating your like damage and they feel like they're getting damaged too much, they will also retreat. So there's a whole bunch of things that we can look forward to the next playtest. The friendly fire has also been addressed, and the mobs will spread out to avoid hitting their kin. So if a goblin is right in front of a goblin and one shoots the one in the back of the head, friendly fire does exist, but the goblin now have AI, so they will spread out, fan out to make sure there is no friendly fire. I don't know if there's friendly fire for the players, because if there is, I might be shooting the tank in the back of the head a few times because I'm an all-sight elf. But we'll have to wait and see there. Mobs will spread out and encircle you when they're hunting you and corner you. Brad has added lighting tools to the team, and he has also built some automatic Atlas tools, making it more efficient for props to be drawn in the game. Brandon has been doing a lot of work and has rebuilt the internal build server, also improving the data to the team. So we got a snippet of a bunch of code, which is basically the client and the build server here. It's probably mumbo jumbo to a lot of you, but if you're interested, you have a little snippet there. Next on, we move on to Todd the God has been doing some amazing bulletproofing. The server is yeah, Todd the God. The server is very authoritative, and for the most part, the server is telling the client what to do. So for those of you that don't know, the client is basically what is on your PC, like your local computer system, and the server is basically what the game is running on, and most things communicate between the server and the client. So when games are more client end, that leads to more hacks, that leads to more exploits, that leads to more bugs, because you can edit the client on your PC to give you a bunch of items, and then it sends a message to the server saying, oh, this guy has 10,000 Materium, you should give it to him. But as you can see here, the Mirandus game will be server authoritative, which basically means the server will be doing a lot of things, and it will just interact between the client to make sure there is no funny business going on with the client. And it should make it so that the client is just there to run the game instead of being able to use for exploits, bugs, and hacks. There was also a new loot UI. Now, this is not the final loot UI with separate tabs. You also have a tab for all your NFTs, because in the previous playtest, people that had like 30 Mirandus Voxes and NFTs like that, the whole inventory when they logged in was basically just NFTs, and they had to delete it every time they made a new character, had to swap characters. Now that issue is gone. You basically will have another tab with all your Mirandus NFTs, and then you have a tab like this for like the backpack and the loot option and the take all. Now we'll get into loot in just a sec, describing how they plan to do it, and we'll give our feedback of what we think of that. But Angie did a bunch of stuff with the asset bundles, and Jonas has been working a lot on the world simulation and spawning of entities. He was also built a feature that allows monsters to leave a message in the world. Now this system immediately delivers it to all NPCs in the vicinity. They also added mesh sizes. So basically what this means is previously when an NPC left a message saying help, I'm getting attacked, it took quite a few seconds before the message was sent out to any other familiar NPCs in the area. But now that message is instant. So if you're wailing on a goblin and it goes, ah, help me, all the other goblins in the vicinity will take notice and come and charge you to defend its fellow brethren. The mesh sizes was something you saw in the animations, the different sizes and different bundles of meshes, which allow the change of size of monsters. So big monsters can't go into the small exemplar places can go, and halflings and dwarfs will have a fun time just going in every nook and cranny, and probably fun in PvP too if they ever do introduce PvP, because how are you going to hit something that's half your height, man? You're going to have to swing down here like this, where they can just stab you in the shin and make sure that you can't go anywhere. When you die, the game sends you to purgatory. This is like a render distance of purgatory. You can see you have your material on the top right here, and you have a timer. So I guess 30 seconds is the testing time before you can open and go through. And if you don't want to wait the 30 seconds, you can spend a bit of material to go out of purgatory with no res sickness. If you go through normally, I think there might be res sickness, and res sickness basically means if you go through, you're not going to be full health, you're not going to be full mana, full energy, full stats. You might have to go to a temple or get a priest to buff you to make sure you get rid of that sickness. But if you pay Materium, you don't have to worry about that. You can just go in and continue your adventure. We'll have to see how they balance this mechanic. It's an interesting mechanic, and it's also going to be interesting to see if people want to wait the 30 minutes or people just going to pay that Materium to go through. What are you guys going to do? Are you going to wait the 30 minutes or are you going to pay the Materium? Because I don't know if you guys have any Materium, but I managed to get I believe 4,000 because I had it off from the playtest in 2022, and I've kept that. I haven't sold that, so I'm just going to be using that for the first couple of months in game.
Yeah, I bought some Materium, so I got some to spend.
Oh, nice.
I'm curious to see what things are going to cost. That's what I'm really curious about.
Yes, that is a big thing. They need to make sure they get that to the T, otherwise people are going to go crazy. It's like $50 to res. Are you guys crazy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so basically, I'm trying to like, I'm real stingy, you know, I'm very frugal when it comes to spending my.
Bro, you're talking to an Indian.
I know, right? I need to learn from you. So
And the Jew.
I just like to spend my money.
It sounds like a joke.
So basically, obviously my goal is to be one of the strongest Everflow elf that quickly as possible. And you guys know that's pretty much what I do. With a lot of games I play, I just put a lot of time as strong as possible. So my idea was to, depending on what you can use your materials for. So like if it's like armor, weapon, even magic. Like if somebody's selling a dope magic, and I'm like, yo, I could be like the first Everflow elf to be like strongest fire wielding sorcerer or whatever like that. So when it comes to the purgatory, I might just have to go to the gym. I might have to just sit there
30-minute push-ups.
Bang out some chest press and contemplating why the hell I died. Come back, case open, and I start again. So like, yeah, but I'm spending my material on how to get stronger game rather than yeah, because obviously, it said like if you wait the purgatory, like you're not gonna have like the negative effect, or you're gonna have the negative effect. So again, if it's gonna have like a big impact on my mastery or my XP, then I might spend it. But again, like I said, my idea is like when it comes to spending the material, is like, to get me to my goal in terms of being one of the strongest, if not the strongest, Everflow elf early on. You know, that way I can utilize my characters. If people want to pay me to go on raids or pay me for certain things, I'll be like the first person within that that have the opportunity to do that. So invest my materium and then hopefully earn it back later on by being one of the strongest Everflow elves.
Well, you could also think of it, you have 30 minutes. If it costs 100 materium, in 30 minutes, if you can make more than 100 materium, then that trade-off is worth it, right? Instead of going 30 minutes to the gym. Like, you don't need to get healthy, man. You need to play Miranda's. You don't need to do push-ups and stuff. You need to be playing this game.
Who needs a heart? Like, who needs a healthy lung? Like?
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
Didn't they confirm that if you don't use a cemetery that you will lose mastery, right?
Yes, so it's not experience in Miranda's. It's going to be like a mastery-based system. So the more you use a sword, the more you use a shield, the more you use magic, the more you use like archery, you're going to get experience or mastery in this case in that skill. Certain classes, certain spells, certain weapons are going to require you to have certain masteries and a combo of certain masteries to use the weapon. For example, I believe McCarthy said to equip the Holy Light Sword, you're going to need to have mastery in like sword play, light magic, a few other things to make sure you can equip that weapon. Armor and rings do not have a mastery requirement because they said it's a good idea to get your friend who's been playing the game to give you a bunch of defensive buffs, which is armor, and then you can go out adventuring, make sure you don't die a lot, and they can power level you like that. But they don't want to give you the offensive buffs because you have to actually be a swordsman. If you're the swordsman of the light, you need to make sure you've trained in single-handed swords, trained in light magic, trained in like general magic, etc., to be able to use these items. So I think that's a fair way of doing it because anybody can put on an armor piece, right? But if it's magical armor, for example, I play a lot of D&D, and magical armor, you need to have certain attribute points or certain skill points to be able to use that also. Normal armor, you can put on like a full-on plate armor, but if you don't have enough strength to use that plate armor, you're going to get winded a lot easier and you won't be able to travel as fast. So there's also like encumberment and all of those type of things that they can include in the game, which I think they might, but we'll have to wait and see how they do that. And also torches. Torches are a big thing, man. When we were playing the previous Miranda's playtest, when it went dark, you couldn't see jack shit unless there was a lantern shining a beam of light in like one direction. So I'm happy that they made torches in the next playtest.
I forgot how the armor works. So when it comes to, is it universal for every character class, or are there character class specific armors?
I think it's universal currently because everybody can craft the same thing in the playtest. But I don't know in the future if certain classes will be able to wear certain armors and if certain classes can craft specific armors regarding to that class. So, example, if it's a priest of the Holy Light, they can craft a specific piece called the robes of Holy Light, and only that class or that faction can wear it. We'll have to wait and see how they handle that in game. But
What would you prefer?
I would prefer a bit of both. So if obviously you have a really, really rare class or you've joined a faction, you should get limited edition clothes or swag for that faction so people know, oh, this guy is a priest of the Holy Light. He's going to heal me. He's a good guy. He's done the quests or the requirements to join that, and these guys are generally considered good. He's not the priest of the blood mages who might backstab me and steal all my materium and loot, so I need to be careful like that. So it goes both ways. And then up to like mid game, I'd say everybody should be able to wear everything, and then certain armors might have skills like weapons have skills, so we'll have to wait and see if like you get like thorn armor that gives you a skill that does damage back, or like other armor that makes you invisible, etc. Instead of like armor that gives you skills would be interesting as well. And I think I would prefer Albion Online in aspect of like you are what you wear. So if I wear a sword, then I'm a swordsman. If I wear like plate armor, then I can be like a tanky character because it gives me more hit points, more defense. If I wear like leather armor, I'm more agile, more nimble. I get more dexterous type things. If I'm in like cloth, I can deal like I get more mana regeneration. It's easy to move about, but I don't have a lot of armor. So that type of playstyle Albion Online did really well because it also had a mastery system, and basically anything you put on, you'd get experience for using that thing. So exactly like Miranda's. And then you could basically have one character be a master of everything if you played for like 4 or 5 years, which I did manage to do. And it was a crazy grind, like 12 hours a day, just masteries every like fame farming every day. And I do like that. I like one character that can be everything as long as the person puts in time, effort, and energy into an ecosystem or playstyle. So like it's also allows you to switch, right? So if I want to play a tank, and tank is my main role, but say we don't have a healer that day and we have like several tanks, and I don't mind switching to a healer and then helping the raid party or the party or the guild by playing healer for like a couple of raids, etc. So I don't like to be class locked per se, but we will have to wait and see how Miranda's does classes and skills. Because, for example, Exemplars have a specific traits that basically give you an idea what classes they will be good at. And Miranda's master has said, if you get a class, it's going to be a huge boost to power when you do get that class, because you're going to need certain level masteries. And if you've unlocked those certain level masteries, adding a class to that exemplar is going to give you that huge boost. So we'll have to wait and see. What do you think? Are you happy with the current class information, or do you think it should be you are what you wear style class system?
Yeah, I like the current system, honestly, but in reality, we really just need to see how it starts playing out, because we don't even have a taste for how a lot of this is going to work. So I think once they start implementing the class system for each exemplar and we get to see how it actually plays out, then we can actually decide whether it's good or not. Right now, it's it's so much speculation at the moment.
Yeah. Exactly. We need an actual game and mechanics so we can say, oh, this is good or this is bad. Like Champions Arena, Last Second Edition, Walking Dead. We're playing the games. We're giving you honest feedback. Maybe the dev team listens to some of the honest feedback. Also, Chuck his hashtag ElfLife and C Money is hashtag OrcLife. What are you guys? I'm hashtag ElfLife.
I own a Seafarer. I think I'm gonna go the Captain Life.
Pirates.
But the pirate life. I'm going that route. I own a boat. I'm looking to get a dock, but again, we barely have any information on how that's gonna work, and I feel like that's gonna be put in way later in the game. So it's gonna be a long time before I get to see or go sailing with my character.
Master of the Seas.
Yeah.
Khaos is ElfLife. Alright, cool. Yeah. So I think this is the last post about the fireside chat, which is a bunch of text by the looks of things. Let's quickly breeze through it. There will be 2 tech tests coming up. The first one will be called the Field of Battle, mainly a deer slaughter to help break Miranda's. So the first tech test is basically going to be play the game, try and break the game so the team gets as much information as possible. And the second test is going to be King's March, which you've heard say passed around quite a few times, and you'll be able to play in a full zone, and they could possibly be a potential to earn Materium in the King's March playtest. The team thanks the playtesters in advance for helping play the game. The playtesters thank you for actually building the game and not going off course like some of the other projects that have had issues recently. But the next section was the offsite meeting, with significant part focused on the Gala chain integration and the Web3 integration. So this is what they discussed on February 12th when the people in the community and the team met together. They talked about Materium and mentioned that they might need a light paper into the hands of the players as soon as possible, which is good because then we can understand how Materium will be put into the game, how it will be used in game, what are the syncs, what is it used for, etc. And it'll give us a good understanding on how that system will work. There is power in items being on Gala chain rather than ETH, especially for locking items. So as we were talking about earlier in the podcast, if you want to utilize your NFT and your item fully, it has to be on Gala chain because it will have a whole bunch of features and extra things available on Gala chain because the team has built Gala chain specifically for, well, not specifically, but it is a good thing for gaming as well. And then ETH, it will pick up in your wallet or inventory, but you might not be able to use it to the fullest features, like especially for locking items. For example, if you're renting your exemplar, I guess it'll have to be on Gala chain because it should stay in your wallet, but it gives the replication of you having an elf for like 4 or 5 hours, depending on how they do the renting system there. I do hope that they flesh out the renting system because they keep talking about only 50,000 exemplars ever being in the game until they need to increase it later on down the line where they might add a new race or a new batch of exemplars. But 50,000 is the benchmark for now. I know Bitbender and Miranda's Master were going back and forth between having 50,000 exemplars being able to access the game or being like a free-to-play exemplar and then having 50k exemplars being like the super powerful type exemplars. But then that could reach a like pay to win side. That's how people will view it, and we'll have to wait and see how that gets resolved in the future. But right now it's you need an exemplar to play Miranda's, and any playtest coming forward you would need an exemplar just to access the download the game. C-tendies? Yeah, there you go, C-tendies. So inventory was also discussed. They have decided not to do Tetris in your inventory. So if you don't know what Tetris inventory is basically if you pick up a spear, it's 6 boxes long and you have to play Tetris in your inventory to make sure slots are where it is and you're maximizing your inventory space. They don't want to have a 1x6 spear and have to shuffle it in your inventory. Items will be taking up slots with smaller items such as ruby stacking. So if you basically pick up a sword, it's going to take 1 slot in your inventory. If you pick up like hay bale, it'll take 1 slot in your inventory. If you pick up ores, it might take 1 slot, or some of them might stack if they're smaller amounts. And if you pick up like gems or like rubble or stones, they could also stack. We'll have to wait and see how that works. I much prefer this way instead of playing Tetris inventory because it makes the game play flow more. And I'm not playing menu simulator. I'm actually playing Miranda's. What are you guys? Which inventory section do you prefer?
Yeah, like when it was when I played Resident Evil, it was good because obviously that was like a survival horror game. That the game was challenging, so you had to choose between the shotgun or the grenade launcher. You know what I mean? You have to choose between ammo, so it made that game. It was that element to that game, the strategy to that game. So that was that genre for that game. And obviously, I don't think Miranda should do that. Like you said, it streamlines it and makes the game flow. That way, you're not spent like hours or time just figuring out, well, damn, do I use a spear or do I take the sword? Do I take the hunter bow or do I take this type of bow? So I'm happy that they went up with that whole Tetris for the infantry.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't talked really about the loot system yet, but if you had the Tetris system with the way they're trying to do looting, it would have been too much of a pain in the ass. Yeah. You would have had to figure out, all right, what am I going to grab and loot off of this character in set amount of time, and also how do I get it to fit in my inventory? So, yeah, going away with a Tetris style system is the key.
Because you have to figure out, oh, I've got 5 slots. Is that 5 slot big enough to fit this item? If I click on it, I got 2 seconds to wait, and like all of that. We'll get to looted system in just a sec, so you guys understand what we're talking about. But yeah, I'm also glad it's not a Tetris system, excuse me. It's more of a like 1 item, 1 slot thing. Spells were a big topic in the offline meeting. They want to stick with the inventory and spell slots so you can swap those out during combat. So what they basically said, you will have like the ability to equip a certain amount of spells that are ready to go and you can cast, and then you can have spells in your inventory that you can swap out during combat. It might take you some downtime to swap them out and switch them, like pulling out a different weapon. So you can have like a mace and you can have a spell in like one of your hands, and if you want to swap the mace to like another spell and be able to dual cast, maybe that's also going to be a thing. But they want it to show that if you're an epic high level wizard and you have spells equipped, if it's like a legendary or epic spell, it's going to show on your tool belt or on your hand when you're getting ready to cast. And when like an epic archmage walks into a tavern, people are going to know, oh shit, that guy's an epic archmage. He's got like 3 golden spells, which are like 3 legendary spells. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out. And spell casting is going to cost Materium. I don't know if there's going to be a free version where you can cast without Materium, which will cost longer, do less damage, or less time for bust, but we'll have to wait and see how they do that. Because if spell casting is going to cost Materium all the time, then any mage, any healer, any bard, any buffer, they're going to be constantly spending Materium, and that's going to, at the start, we don't know what the items are going to cost, how Materium you're going to gain, so that might cost them quite a bit. Most people think in dollars, they don't think in Materium or like in-game economies, because there's an actual real-world financial value attached to it. So we'll have to wait and see how the caster classes play and how spells get dropped, like how spells get put into the game, how they're used, if there is a free version, if there is not a free version. What do you guys want? Do you want a free version? Do you not want a free version? Do you want it to be Materium, spells cost Materium, or what would you like to see?
As long as it's balanced, well, I get the whole Ethereum is like the essence of Miranda's, but like if it becomes too expensive, then I need a way for my mastery to go up just a little bit more quicker. Like, cause I played a lot of game when it comes to grinding masteries. Like, you got to put hundreds of hours in, and like if I'm only getting 1 point, but it's costing me X amount of Materium, I might not even make it to the end game for my mastery because I'm gonna run out of Materium. So I understand they said magic is gonna be like really powerful. Like, so you need to, it's like I need to check my bank account before I dash this fireball. Like, oh shit, man, I can't throw this fireball because I didn't get paid today. So you know what I mean? It's just like, so like it's, unless magic is gonna just devastating and do a lot of damage, or it's gonna be cheap enough for me to be able to or I don't know, as it gets stronger, I guess you'll use less Materium. So at the beginning it might be like, all right, this is gonna cost me a lot, but as you become stronger, you're like, all right, I'm just one shotting everything now, you know? So maybe that'll be like a trade-off.
Just to touch up on that, just down a couple of paragraphs or sentences, it says spells will gain mastery even if you don't deal damage, but also gain mastery when you deal damage. So spells will give you a flat rate, and then if you do deal damage or cast a buff or whatever, they'll give you additional mastery, because to counteract that, you're spending money, you're spending Materium, so there is a benefit to doing that. You get your mastery even if you don't do anything, because you spent Materium, you'll get mastery, and then if you do the effect that the spell is meant to do, you also get another boost. So that worry is out the window. They've said that that is actually going to be in game.
You just don't get dinner that night.
So basically, yeah, right. So basically, I could go to a tree and just dash fireballs at a tree and still increase my mastery a little bit. I mean, like, fuck that tree, you know what I mean? I put like a face on the tree, and you just see me. I'll be like Naruto practicing. So when people say, "Hey, what's Khaos doing to that tree, bro?" I'm practicing out here, bro.
$5, just chucking at the tree.
Hadouken.
I think it's cool. I like the double dipping factor of it, because, you know, this game is supposed to be immersive, and yeah, if you're a spellcaster, technically, yeah, if you're casting the spell and practicing, then you should receive some sort of mastery. Even if you don't hit the target, you're still practicing on casting the spell. I think the biggest problem, and I don't mind using Materium for spells, it's just that, again, this is like Web3, and we're associating this with money. And that's where the problem comes in, because instead of just kind of like using this in-game magic essence, we're associating it with money. And so I think it hits a little different. But then again, like Khaos said, if the spells are really powerful and like rare and like they make the difference, I think it'll be a little easier to justify the use of Materium for a spell. But if it's like this just kind of like a quick fireball thing that you're just chucking constantly and it's not doing that much damage, then you're going to be a little bit more wary about just throwing out spells here and there.
Yep. Well, you got to keep in mind though, most people are going to be playing Miranda's in a guild, and I'm pretty sure the guild will fund their healers, will fund some of their main damage dealers to make sure that they can go on raids and get the item and resources back. So if Khaos is planning to be the top mage in his guild, you never know. Maybe some people might donate some Materium here and there to make sure he gets that fireball off in time, so they don't have to spend Materium in purgatory. They might want the Materium on the fireball instead.
Gun for hire.
Yeah.
Opens up that secondary market, like, so like there'll be so many different ways that you can obtain Materium. You're like, yo, let me do this odd job for this person. Let me go on a raid, then you can pay me Materium and stuff like that, which we'll get on to that as well. But I feel like there'll be so many ways for people to obtain, like, even if you're free to play, like, you could just be like, hey, yo, I'll carry stones and rocks.
Porters, lumberjacks, chipping and chopping.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move on to mastery. So mastery is emphasized. The more you do one thing, the better you get at that one thing. It will be the gate for most things. The equipment. To equip the epic fire sword, you will need to have masteries in one or multiple areas, such as sword mastery and then fire sword mastery. So there's not like an experience bar per se, it's a mastery bar. And the higher you get, the more you'll be able to access certain things and certain stuff that so basically if you use a sword, you can get sword mastery. And then if you want to go do daggers or a mace or a spear, you can also switch those out and get masteries in that. You are not locked to one playstyle, but your exemplar and class might sway what you do play. Because, for example, if you have a flame sword master, you're not going to be playing a spear because you won't get the benefits of the flame sword master. And if you're playing an all-sight elf, you don't exactly want to be playing a melee spearman. You want to be playing like an archer, for example, because the all-sight elf benefits are to range damage. So do keep that in mind when you're crafting your build. Well, I like to min-max, so I keep all of those details in mind. Some people just like to roleplay. It's like, I'm going to be an orc that is a mage that gets up close and personal and heals people by punching them. If that's you, you do you. But I like to min-max my character to make sure I feel like the badass, most powerful character in the game. Are you guys min-maxers or are you guys roleplayers?
Min-maxer, by the way. I don't know.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, I guess every now and again, maybe a little bit of roleplay, but most of the time I want to see those insane crit damage numbers. All right, cool. Let's move on to classes. So classes are major leaps forward in the game. If you get a class, you must have the prerequisite mastery to be able to equip that class. They will be major power-up points for the game. Why are you calling out the orcs? Because orcs likes to punch things in the face. Orcs have a healer that is a shaman, but this shaman likes to whack him with a stick and heal him. You never know. It could be C Money, the barbarian healer. There you go. That's your tag in Miranda, C Money. All right, cool. So as I said, classes are an interesting factor. Depends how you obtain your classes. If they're going to be base classes, if they are not going to be classes, we'll have to wait and see. One thing I did think would be interesting in Miranda's is when you level up, you get like skills, right? So maybe you can get skills every time you level up. If I just quickly go here and then go to Archmage, and you should be able to see, oh, well, there, the meet with a post. Come on. There you go. Let me jump to this so I can explain it better. So basically, when the game goes live, and then every time you hit a certain milestone, for example, if you hit like overall mastery level 30, if there is a level calculator, you get a chance to pick a class. And there's like basic classes, which are like magician, warrior, assassin, but there's like rare classes, which are like gunner, and there's like uncommon, etc. classes, etc. You can do that. And then there's also like the legendary classes, right? Where there's like 1 in 5 available in the whole game. And I'm guessing Archmage or like Necromancer, etc., will be a class that there's 1 in 5. Now, I get not everybody can be a legendary Archmage. There's only going to be 5 people in the Archmage, but that's how the game's going to work, right? That's how what everybody's been dreaming of. If you see an elf, they're going to be distinguished between the humans, orcs, and halflings. And if you see an Archmage elf, that's like a 0.1% chance. So he's going to be a unique existence in Mirandus, and I'm going to be excited to see how they do classes, and if the basic ones should be widely available, and like the legendary ones, like 1 in 10, 1 in 5, 1 in 100s, we'll have to wait and see how that is done. And if you're interested to read up on this manhwa, it's called Archmage Streamer, and it has several ideas that I think the Mirandus team should look into, because a lot of these manhwas, if you guys don't know, have amazing ideas. You just need to take a little bit here and there. For example, Archmage Streamer, Overgeared, Solo Leveling, Omnius Senses Viewpoint. All of them have like 1 or 2 ideas. Just take all the good bits, implement it into your system, and make Mirandus legendary. But what do you guys think on the classes system and how like skills and classes are distributed to the game?
So this is something that they are implementing or brainstorming and thinking about implementing.
They're brainstorming and think about it, how classes are introduced and how skills are introduced. This is one example of what I said. Like if you reach a certain milestone in a certain mastery, then a menu pops up, and obviously you won't be able to see these cards. They'll all be faced back, and you won't be able to see if it's a legendary, epic, rare, whatever. But you get a chance to pick a card, and then say, for example, you make a new character, and then you get a rare card, and then you can sell that skill point or class if you want. And then you can also use it yourself, if you get what I mean. So you could have a character that's new to the game that manages to pull the epic Archmage class, and then if he doesn't want to use it himself, he could probably sell it on the secondary market and probably get a couple thousand or a couple $100 for it. Same thing with the skill points. I think that would be an interesting play in like a Web3 MMORPG, but I'm interested to see how the team does it. Like, how would you like the classes and skills to be implemented? Or what are your ideas?
But it's sorry, I'm just trying to keep up. So it's RNG based, like when you hit a certain milestone?
Yes. So for example, in a normal MMO, when you hit level 15, that would be when you go from like a swordsman to like a battle master, for example. But you don't get the battle master right away. You get an options, like 10 cards will appear, and then you can pick one of the 10 cards, and it will give you a class for that swordsman, like battle master, beast master, dual swordsman, heavy swordsman, sword and shield, sword and board, etc. And then you can select which one. And then if you don't like it, it's an NFT, so you can trade it with somebody who has what you do want. And then it will give you a nice dynamic flow of like hitting certain mile points to get certain things in game. It will also be another way you earn in game. So it's not all based on Materium, right? You don't have to continuously play the game for Materium. You can level up exemplars, level up characters, get the skills, get the classes, trade it back and forth. And then since there's only 50,000 exemplars, I guess there'll only be a certain amount of classes available. So then if you've all 50,000 have leveled up, then the way you get a class is by the secondary market or finding another one in game.
I like it. I mean, I like where you're pitching. I mean, I like the idea of how you said, like you see, seeing an elf in itself is rare, but then seeing an elf with a rare class is this very low chance, and I like that aspect of Mirandus, that whole rarity wow aspect of the world. So yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I personally don't have my own suggestions for a class system, but I'd go with that.
What about you, Shadow? I know Shadow's just sitting there because Mirandus isn't really like his thing. He's just getting along with the vibes. But what about you, Khaos?
Just
You went for Legends Reborn.
Yeah. When the Legends Reborn playtest comes.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm understanding correctly, I'm not a fan of like RNG or randomness when it comes to like the class system. Like, like if I'm working towards one particular class, like if I'm training to be like a Shaolin monk fighter, and I get to like level 50, and the master says, yeah, pick one of these cards, and I end up with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, big man, look, I just spent all that hour trying to train to be Shaolin master, and you're trying to say I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master now? Like, so if I'm set out to be like a specific for a specific class, and oh, I have to get certain attributes, whether it's like a sword wielder or a staff, whatever. I'm rather just focus on that because that'll be my goal, and that'll be like a great achievement for me to head down that path. Like so, yeah. I'm happy. Like I'm really confident in the team. I feel like they're gonna deliver something really cool when it comes to this class system based on the experience and what they've done before in the past. Well, I'm super excited to see what they come up with. Like they've impressed me from the beginning to where we are now. They just keep impressing me. So I'm like really happy and confident that Marantis is gonna hit this one out. In terms of gameplay, yeah, the economy, I'm not too sure because that's still kind of new within this space. But I'm confident when it comes to that, the gameplay, the whole MMO side to the game.
Oh, it's getting close to, well, it's 11 o'clock, so let's breeze through the rest of the fireside chat because we have a lot of things to discuss and I want to get to a couple of these with 8-bit attendees here. So let's quickly breeze through the remaining fireside chat announcements. So combat contribution: for mastery to increase, you must engage in combat. It is calculated when you kill a monster or beast, not when you attack and flee. So basically hit and run won't work. You can't just tag a mob and get the experience. You have to actually participate in that combat and do a good chunk of damage to be able to get the mastery for that kill. But you can also gain mastery when you deal damage. Armor and rings will not acquire mastery, but weapons will, as I explained previously. When you die, you will lose mastery unless you spend materium to get rid of that penalty, which you can use to negate that loss. They discuss durability and breaking during combat. They might include that it breaks once a point in time and it can easily be fixed at your local forge. They don't want it where you have to carry 10 swords and then go into combat and then you use one sword for like 20 minutes and it breaks and you get another sword and you have to use that sword and it breaks. They want you to progress steadily. They want you to get that epic fire sword, use the epic fire sword, but every now and again it might get a chip and then you have to go back to that local blacksmith to fix it up. And I like this change. I don't like it when you have to carry like 20 weapons and there's like durability every time you hit it goes down by 1, etc. So I'm happy with this change. I'm guessing you guys like this change as well because nobody wants to do inventory management.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like weapons breaking all the time in a game. It's just a whole nother aspect that just doesn't make it as fun.
Right, purgatory. So when you, I think most gamers agree unanimously. Purgatory: when you die, you go to purgatory. That does a lot of interesting things. When you die, you will have a timer. You can spend materium to bypass that timer. You can trade materium and items in purgatory to talk smack, and also talk smack is like, oh, you're the reason we died. You didn't heal. He's like, oh, well, you didn't pay me materium, so I didn't heal you, like, etc. That's going to be a big issue in purgatory. We'll have to wait and see. There will be a base cost for all actions in game. Cemeteries and kingdom taxes will be set by the team, so the team has to set a baseline for certain things because some people will abuse the system and be like, oh, my guild mates get 0 tax, my guild mates res for free, and they need to make it so materium is actually used and cycled in game. So there will be a base tax, and then you can decide later on, if you're the king or a deed owner, what to do with the other factors in game. Monsters and enemies do not like to go near deeds, and if you're a deed owner, also can dictate what buildings can be placed on your land. So if you don't want to have like 20 mills or 20 barns on your land, you can dictate one section is for a barn, one section is for a tavern, one is for an inn, like 5 for farming plots, etc., which is a good change because that allows deed owners to actually plan how they want things. And if they're building in certain locations, for example, if you're building near a dock, you want more taverns, inns, and like trade markets. And if you're building inland, you want like a whole good ecosystem. If you place a deed, you will get a buff. So basically, if you place the town of the Viscount or a citadel, you'll get a respective buff. But that buff will be because you manage that town. You can't just place a deed, get like the 20% damage buff, 20% tax buff, and not do anything just by placing that town. You have to actually maintain that town. The larger the building, the more recipes you will have to access as well. So like a basic blacksmith won't have access to like a legendary or grand majestic blacksmith, and to craft those things you have to like go and travel to that blacksmith or that deed to be able to craft certain things. I'm happy with that change. The higher the rarity of the NFT, the more you should be able to do there, the more it should be able to have and provide for the players as well. Now, damage types and interactions will be resolved. So basically like fire damage, slash damage. If you are going up against an enemy that's resistant to slash or weak to fire, they will all be calculated in the game, but they're still working on that system. And you can't talk about loot without talking about the combat contribution. So this is what we were talking about earlier. There is no way to announce a perfect system. If you say one thing, another side is not going to be happy. And if you say that side, the other side is not going to be happy. So it's a very difficult system to engineer. You can see how messy the combat contribution is from the previous playtest, and only people that contributed to combat can loot from the way that they plan to do it. For you to contribute, you have to be recognized by the algorithm that the team will release soon, so you know how it works. It is based on damage. So if you damage a creature, you will get the loot. So basically tanks and melee damage dealers will get access to the loot first because they're in the thick of it. Then archers, casters, and all of those will be able to get access to the loot because they'll have to run up to it. But what about the cleric though? It's the ultimate flex to have a healer or bard in your party in Miranda's. The cleric is going to say, how much are you going to pay me for me to heal you? So you need to pay me material, you need to pay me Gala, you need to pay me like on an hourly wage, something like that. And that is how the team has compensated for clerics and I guess archers that are not close to the enemy, but are shooting from a distance. So there's always going to be a loot frenzy. And for looting, nothing is perfect, right? So what the team is going to try is what it means to loot. When it is like you wake up, so when you walk up to the enemy and you can loot it, you cannot walk up and take it unless you contributed in that combat. And otherwise, even when you are taking an item, there'll be a small item wheel for like 1 or 2 seconds that appears that everybody can see what you are taking and how long it's going to take you to take. And it shows what you are taking, a set timer. The loot will become public, and then after that set timer, it will remove. So I guess like 10 minutes, the party that dealt damage can loot, and then 10 minutes after, it's free loot, and then it will be removed because you don't want a load of dead meshes in the game because that slows down the server and causes a bunch of lag. Here is a quick example of that just happening. So they've killed a goblin hunter by the looks of it. He's got a bunch of armor, wheat, stone, etc. And one person is already looting that, and then somebody else is hovering over what he wants to loot, and then this will go to your inventory. So as you can see here, ores are not going to be stacked because they're heavy and individual. So this is probably iron ore, and if you have like rubies or arrows, etc., that will be in this patch, and they will be stacked. And whoever has 150,000 material, like send some my way, even if it's for a playtest. I'll take that off your hands. I'll test material for you. And lastly, they talked about resets. So they are getting closer to leaving builds up, but they will take them down every now and again, fix them, and then launch them back. So you will not be keeping a lot of progress. You will just be able to play the game. The only thing you might keep is Materium if that becomes available in King's March or King's Landing. No, King's Landing is Game of Thrones, right? King's March. In Miranda's, the second playtest, which will be later on, maybe Q4 or Q3. But the test the build weekly and they will increase it. So if it's stable for a week, they might leave it up for 2 weeks. If it's stable for 2 weeks, they'll take it down for a couple of days and leave it up for 3 weeks. We'll have to wait and see how the team does that. That's all based on the team. We don't have information on that. That information will come later on. But you will keep all the Materium and ancient NFTs you'll find in the world. So this is a line that you need to keep in your head. You will be able to find NFTs in games, and ancient NFTs will be kept. So keep in mind, if you find something amazing and it is an NFT, you might be able to keep it later on. And then Miranda's finished up by hanging out in Discord and answering a bunch of questions. If you go back to the Discord, you can see where he has started to answer the questions. You just need to go to Discord and type in Miranda's Master and you can see what he said. But yeah, to stay up to date with the Gala Games ecosystem, Miranda's, drop us a follow. So I do all of this breakdowns for you. You don't have to sit through a 2-hour AMA. Next up, we hit 1,000 followers and I'll be doing giveaways soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that to win some Gala Games NFTs. And now on to the
giveaway.
Yep, hashtag giveaway. C-Money, where are you, man?
Podcast.
Legit. That's what I'm trying to breeze through. I want to get to these last 5 things before midnight. But where are you, C-Money, man? Where's the hashtag giveaway? There you go. There you on cue. C-Money does the hashtag giveaway. Cool. So we have another post by Nephilim Hoss. We are excited to announce Voyager Ascension. It is brought to Gala Chain by RFLXT, which is a developer company making a game, and they're using Gala Chain as their chain of choice, leveraging the Gala Chain SDK for a seamless integration to the gaming ecosystem. Now you can find more information about the game here. It's a spaceship-like game where it's like you're running and gunning. It's a fast-paced shooter, and I'm interested to see when they have this as a playtest, because I would like to playtest the game for them, give them a bunch of feedback and see how they can improve the game. But I do like to see other people building on the Gala chain ecosystem, because it is one of the best ones available for them, is what they have decided. And if you are interested, make sure to follow the announcements in Discord or just follow Twitter. I do the Discord mini games for you. Then we also have the Lost Expedition update, where every Friday at 10 p.m. GMT, the Lost Expedition devs will be playing with the community in the Discord, in the Ramblers, Jammers, Disruptors, and Burners lobbies. Every hour or so, they normally hop in and play local games and then go back to the main lobby. And we did this yesterday. It was with Cool, it was with Dr. Wookie, it was with 3-4 members of the team. Tiny was there, Chuck was there, Vince was there, I believe. Well, I don't think Chuck was there, but quite a lot of people were there, and it was an interesting time. You can check my stream yesterday to see how the event went. They that desperate for players, I'm shocked, like and Warlord's comment right there. And the other side is Earth Dad saying we had a great time. So both sides of the coin right there. It depends what you
need to use his energy for something positive, man. It's
Which
no
one?
good being that, no use of being that fueled for bad all the time.
Like in the Warlord, that's what he does, man. He
That's
got
his
burned, and
thing now.
He's trying to take down Gala. That's his niche.
It's interesting. He comments quite a lot of things. It's interesting to see his viewpoint compared to like other viewpoints. I do read a lot. I read most of my messages and YouTube comments as well. So even if I don't respond, I've seen it and it's in the back of my head. Cool. Now we get on to the thing that, well, all three of you are Legends Reborn fans. So this is where I take a break in talking and these guys take over. Legends Reborn, the latest and greatest. So they had a new update on the news.gala.com website about Legends Reborn is coming soon. This was published on February the 23rd, and we'll just skim over it. So our community has been waiting patiently for news on the deck building TCG Legends Reborn, whose development was unexpectedly halted when the original developer Kung Fu Factory shut down, but we weren't going to let it go that easily, especially with the title that has fostered such excitement within the community, mainly by Shadow. Apparently Shadow sent Bitbender messages every single day saying why you should save this game and this is what you need to do, and he got a shout out in the previous Ahead of the Game episode on the Christmas special. So there you go, that's how dedicated this man is to Legends Reborn. With the dev team at Clashcraft Studios, the strategic masterpiece card game is back on track and coming soon to Gala Games platform. So I guess Kung Fu Factory shut down, and the people that are now making them a game are called Clashcraft Studios. Is that right?
So that was new news. So we had thought until yesterday that it was being developed actually as a Gala title.
Mm-hmm.
So we are interested in some more details for Clashcraft.
Okay, well, let's quickly Google Clashcraft. But while I Google that, let's get into the next point. So deck building in Web3. Trading card games lend themselves perfectly to the ownership and rewards enabled by Web3, and Gala Chain is ready to compete with the leading TCG in the world. There's something special about the ability to build a deck out of NFTs like tokenized creatures, with each unique creature and action card having a secondary market of its own to consider. Players can enjoy greater depth with exhilarating strategic gameplay than ever before. Instead of clicking a button and auto-battling like every 5-6 minutes, I can see why some people would like this. The game trades economy with a blend of seamless PvP gameplay strategy, keeping everybody fresh, compelling for players and all walks of life. So I guess this is why you guys are interested, because it's not a mindless game. It is basically strategy. I can't find... Well, I guess we'll have to wait for Clashcraft Studios. Then we move on to venue ownership. Like many Gala games, Legends Reborn has a unique way for the players to own land and earn greater rewards for engaging their game. So I believe owning land is like owning a venue, and when people play at your venue when a game happens, it's like a tavern. When they play at your tavern, you get some type of rewards, which will be discussed here or in the light paper whenever that comes out. Legends of the Table. And I can't wait until they DDU duel.
The duel, that is Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Yu-Gi-Oh was the best card game until it went real complicated.
Man, it's too complicated now, bro. It's too complicated.
You see the text? It's like 17 lines. It should be like 2 lines. This effect happens. All right, not get sidetracked. Let's get into Legendary Born. In the world of Legendary Born, disputes are settled on the gaming table rather than the battlefield. It's a fantasy world where peace reigns supreme, but competition is everything. Nearly everyone participates in a massively popular game of chance, and nearly every tavern and public gathering place in the world acts as a venue for chance gameplay. Players have the option to own gameplay ventures and variety rarities within the world of Tolkheim. I guess Tolk is the... Oh, Tolkien. There you go. And Tolk was the coin that they displayed on that video, right? Like as $ Tolk as the currency, maybe?
Yeah,
we'll
have to wait and see. More details.
Yeah.
Tolk definitely was featured.
Earning a portion of the rewards from matches played within the venue. Learn more about the venue ownership in this blog, and keep in mind that details may change before official launch, because Bitbender said that the game was officially launching in March, and then Anita said that the game playtest is happening in March. And based on this article, I'm guessing it's the playtest, but I don't think the launch will happen in March.
The email that this post takes you to literally says full launch in March, doesn't it, Khaos?
What?
Yeah. So the email that you read in your inbox, it said full launch in March, and you read the article, and then it says what is it, like, come in a couple of months. Like at the bottom, you'll see it, which was so confusing and contradicting, and plus what Bitbender said originally, and then what Anita said is just like, bro, lost. I have no idea what's going on. So you have the two emails saying exactly the same thing that Bender and Anita were saying.
50-50.
Stop teasing us like this.
I mean, I would assume that they would do a play test first before a full launch, because when was the last play test?
May 23.
There you go.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I said. Even when they said, when Bitbender was like, oh yeah, full launch early March, I was like, whoa, hold up. So what happened with Champions Arena when they had that exploit? Like, you guys sure that the game is ready for full launch? Like, I'll be happy with just the playtest and make sure there's no bugs and everything's working before saying, yo, it's full launch. So yeah, I got my hopes up for a playtest rather than a full launch. So I'm not gonna be disappointed when they actually come out and say what it is.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But also,
not long.
Oh yeah,
March,
it says here
Friday.
Couple of months. The game will prepare to launch within the next few months. Stay on the lookout for updates about gameplay, sales, rewards, and economy, and more. But based on sales, the creature card pack sales. So creature card packs and epic creature packs are still available in the Gala Games store while supplies last, but only for a limited time. Each creature pack contains a ritual stone capable of forming a small group of fully functional creature tokens. If you want to collect creatures of high rarity, get these creature packs before they disappear. You can also get them on the secondary market under Legendary Born. Make sure you click on the official OpenSea link and not one of the dodgy ones. Make sure it has both blue ticks by Legendary Born and Gala, and this is the one that you want to be looking for. I know you guys own quite a lot of cards. Any good ones that you recommend people look into? If it's the same meta as the previous playtest, or is there just like all cards are very good and viable depending on the build you pick?
Yeah, it's not like CA. It's not like just two good champions. Like, there's a huge variety. It depends it all depends on your strategy, how you want to approach the battle.
Sweet, cool.
Yeah, it also depends on if they rebalance the game since the last playtest too, because people are going to be playing different metas.
Poison Dragon. I remember that.
If you go to the top, like go back to the top, I'm trying to encourage people to buy some of the action cards, because at the beginning it's going to be quite difficult to get good action cards. It might even be hard to even get some of the real ones. And these 3 action cards are actually quite strong, especially the 1-2. Yeah, the 1-2 one is really good. And the overflow one. So I mean, they're going for, some of them are going for quite cheap. So definitely keep your eye on them. Even check NFT Harbor. I've been putting in offers for like $10, $12, trying to pick them up. I want to. I'm trying to get a bunch of them so I can like corner the market like that guy with the vouchers, the dragon vouchers. I'm trying to
Dragon
get
Voucher
all
one.
of them.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, it's not going to be like the playtest where we had the luxury of having so many action cards. Like you're going to be limited to some really basic action cards. So if you want to like a jump start in your deck building and own in some NFTs, and these action cards that you see, they're quite limited. There's not a lot of them. They're not like thousands like some other games. Like they're quite limited. So owning two of them wouldn't be a bad idea. And if they do increase in value, like we don't really talk about ROI on here, but I do see that they're quite it's like how much does Chaos Neon DN have? Like I've got quite a few, I'm not gonna lie. But they're definitely good action cards to get early on.
Cool. And then subject to change, please remember that the original Legends Reborn plans are subject to change, especially with the new developers at the helm. Utility will be ascribed to all existing tokens, and new tokens will be sold as well as the Gala Games store. So I'm guessing tokens are the NFTs and whatever has been on sale, especially the land, venues, etc. So I guess information that we already knew. The two new things is the Clashcraft Studios, and then this line right here, it should be getting ready to launch in the next few months. Everything else, I guess, was knowledge to people that followed Legends Reborn, but it's a refresh for people that didn't know about Legends Reborn. Now, moving on to the spicy news, which is a thread by Bitbender and Alpha. And you don't need to read this stuff, you just need to focus on the Alpha alert. Apparently they didn't authorize him to do this post, but next week Gala Swap, a decentralized platform, will be available on Gala Chain, and I think it will be on a Tuesday, which is like 3 days away. And this is what C Money was talking about earlier on. So since DEX tokens like Uni and 1inch are popping off today, let's talk about exchanges and trading. I know this topic has almost never been touched, but I want to get into it before the community cares about it. And then we have the Alpha alert, Gala Swap is launching. I have not gotten permission to say this from our marketing people, so just pretend you didn't see this. I'm just quickly going to take a screenshot to make sure I keep it in my folder of things Bitbender said. I want to take a few minutes to talk about the fundamental economics of a on-chain trading. Here is some trades. So it gives you an example of certain trades that happened on certain platforms, etc., and how much it costs on Gala Chain. Roughly one Gala, which is equivalent to 3 cents at the current price. So you can just trade $100 and not have to pay ridiculous ETH gas fees or like any other gas fees, because ETH gas fees are crazy. And if this becomes a thing on Gala where you can just swap things back and forth for 3 cents, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will, instead of bridge to Solana, bridge to Matic, bridge to Aave, not Aave, AVAX or Arbitrum, they will just go to Gala. But the bridge to Gala from the Gala website is insane. So how are you going to get like the USDC or Gala USD on Gala if the bridge is like $10 because it's on Ethereum or Polygon or Solana? We'll have to wait and see. But one of the better things than the others is the cool thing about Gala Swap and Gala Chain in general is that we plan to offer sex level trades and near instant finality with everything actually happening on chain. So what it means by SEX level is like millions or billions of dollars for the trade on this platform, and instead of being like the 100, 200,000, couple thousand here, and it will be on Gala Chain and you can do insane amounts back and forth. Our plan is to set the fee for both the maker and take a side of the equation to a 1 Gala burn. So it doesn't go to Gala, it goes to the Gala burn, which is good for Gala, I guess, in general, in the long run. If like 50 people are doing it a day, that's 50 Gala burn. There's going to be a load more burning happening for any trade of any size. The long-term plan is to allow the maker side of the equation to get a discount for the amount of Gala they have locked in the order book to incentivize liquidity building. While V1 is a bit of a simple side, V2 is planned to have API access that will allow markets to access Gala Swap. Anyone who wants to trade will be able to do it with a flat 1 Gala burn per trade, no matter the size. Want to trade $100? Awesome. 1 Gala, burn 1 Gala. Want to trade 10 million? Cool. Burn 1 Gala. So this might be a really big thing for people to move things back and forth if they allow you to do Gala Chain and Gala Swap. We'll have to wait and see. We can do this because we aren't in the exchange business and we have no interest of being in the exchange business. This is about providing functionality to the whole Gala ecosystem. That line right there is an amazing thing that he's just said. Gala needs more utility. Gala needs more use cases. And I guess this is going to be a major use case for the Gala ecosystem. Any ERC20 tokens based on Ethereum can be bridged in and traded on GalaSwap for for a Gala to burn right now. Wait, so if you swap your Gala to Gala Swap, it just costs 1 Gala to bridge it? Are you sure? Am I reading this correct, guys? Is that what it means?
ERC token based on ETH can be bridged and traded on GalaSwap for 1 Gala. Huh, that's interesting.
Bro, if that is actually...
Wait and see.
That is meant...
If that is they're going to cover the ETH.
That's what I'm saying. You can't cover the ETH because ETH is going to cost you at least $5 to $10 depending on when it is. So they can't do that for everybody, as they'll be losing a lot. I guess when you get it on and bridge to Gala, it will be 1 Gala to burn based on the previous information. Right now, new token integrations are manual, but the plan is that they become automatic by V3 opening up GalaSwap for trades on anything from stables to meme coins. And now, if you didn't know, if you go over to your Gala Games inventory, you can start seeing quite a lot of coins being added to that inventory. So we see wrapped ether like GWETH, we have USDC, GUSDC, Tether, we have GUSD, and there's a whole bunch of things that should be coming later on, and these are already on Gala chain and you can see them in your inventory. I guess we'll have to wait and see when the bridge to Gala chain not available. So I guess we'll have to wait till Tuesday to figure out what that is. And each address connecting to GalaSwap or the Gala platform is screened by chain analysis to make sure there is no sketchy funds hitting the bridge, which is another thing because bridges and things getting hacked is a big thing in DeFi and in crypto in general. So we don't want none of that because that shit hurts the economy and the ecosystem. We have been saying for a long time, Gala is not a Web3 gaming token. Gala is more than a layer 1 token. Gala is more than a DPEN token. I don't know what a DPEN token is, but Gala is about building a whole economy that can fundamentally refine the whole crypto, the role of crypto in our lives. It's about to get very interesting. So what are your guys' thoughts? Yeah, bang. There you go. Do I have a mic? I don't have a mic. I got a selfie stick that I just dropped. There you go. Mic drop. What do you guys think? That was a lot to cover in like a couple of minutes, but off you go.
Who wants to go first?
Go on, Shadow.
Well, I think when this tweet went out, our group chat just exploded straight away. We've been waiting for some utility to come. I didn't think we expected anything this huge if it plays out how it's written. Just can't wait for Tuesday, really. Just to just see the UI of it, how just everything. This leaves so many stones unturned, but this builds massive hype for Gala as a whole.
Else?
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I got an 8-bit.
No, I mean, I agree. It's self-explanatory. I mean, you just read through it all, and I think it's just basically, it's about time that Gala started adding some real utility. This is going to interest people from outside of the ecosystem, which we need, and hopefully it works as described. And this is only the V1, and they're going to add more utility up till V3. So we'll see on Tuesday if everything plays out correctly. But I think it's bullish. It's progress, and it's about time. So I'm excited.
And it completely come out of nowhere as well, which is truly exciting.
Yeah, technically it wasn't meant to come out. Like Jason just went rogue and was like, "F it, I'm gonna post it." Can't hold me back.
That's the thing, like he's been saying that him and Benny, have been saying, hey, we got all these bullish announcements that we can't really talk about just yet. And so after a few weeks or months of nothing coming out, people start to get skeptical. Like, oh, are there really big things, or are you just saying that? So now to actually see some of these announcements coming out, again, it's just kind of now you're building that trust again, and you're building that hype. So this is a good sign, and to come out with something like this, again, it's pretty big. So again, if we can start interesting people from outside the ecosystem, because Gala has this really bad rep right now, it's up in the air with everyone outside of our own little bubble. So if this does good, then so be it. This is good.
It's gonna kickstart that snowball of Gala.
Exactly.
I also think this is planned to take us away from the other big announcement that's kind of been
One sec, Shadow, you just cut out. You repeat what you said.
Just signed like the biggest contract of my life, and then everyone was kind of like surmising what he meant by that, and then some people delved into the fact that they're bringing over Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign to Gala Music.
Ta-da!
And then there was a load of mass excitement over that, and I just feel like, was this tweet to take us off the scent of this happening, which would be, mind-blowingly huge for Gala. Kanye West is probably arguably the greatest producer of our lifetimes. Obviously, he's just, anything he touches does gangbusters. Whether it's music, whether it's fashion, whether it's interior design, anything he does, it's just golden and so well thought out. If they can draw someone of that caliber over, then mind absolutely blown.
That's why I wanted 8-bit tendies here. The music guy, off you go, man. What do you think?
I mean, I was streaming the fight yesterday, and I think it was C Money or someone who just commented about the announcement and kind of verifying the whole Kanye thing, and I was kind of blown away from that because that again, if true, because they haven't officially said it yet, but yeah, if true, that's fucking huge. He has this like cult-like following and fan base. And so if somehow he can bring that fan base into the Gala ecosystem, specifically the music ecosystem, that's going to be the real big Kickstarter that ecosystem needs to get some limelight. And I mean, even like, I'm just thinking like TMZ and publications and whatnot, this is going to be like big industry news if Kanye drops something on like an NFT platform, whether it's gonna be a positive and negative, So, but that's what Kanye does. He causes this huge controversy and he kind of splits audiences. But either way, it's gonna be huge publicity for Gala Music. So, what I'm like interested in though is like what kind of deal structure he has with Gala, because knowing Kanye, he likes to really kind of take over things and mold. He's kind of the guy that will come in and try to make some big changes, I feel, to like Gala and music and what they're doing, or do things in a very specific way that he wants to do things. So this is going to be very interesting if true. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen, especially if he hops into the Discord and starts chatting with people. Kanye in there, it's just going to be crazy. People are going to be like, yo, Kanye's in the Gala Music chatting with people, and people are just going to flood in there, start spamming. It's going to be crazy.
Carpet says it's a win no matter what for Gala and the community. I guess Gala Music's going to get on a bigger platform, especially with Kanye. It's like, I'm on Gala Music. Well, Snoop Dogg did that. It's like Gala Music, and then the Snoop Boxes thing happened. And I don't want to see Shadow's face when I say Snoop Box drop. But yeah, we have to see what
that's what I'm saying. Like I think like the difference between Snoop Dogg, when you kind of look at it retrospectively, Snoop Dogg has been like money grabbing throughout all these like industries. You see him pop up and do like partnerships with FaZe Clan and doing all these other different gaming events. So like it kind of made sense that like someone pitched him something real quick with Gala, and like he kind of paid no mind to it, and he's like, yeah, do whatever you want. So I think with Kanye you're gonna get a different like aspect to that. I think, like I said, Kanye, when he gets into something, he like really gets involved into it. I don't think he just kind of signs contracts and then just kind of lets someone do whatever they want with his music. I think he want to like really, he wants to take control and really
Absolutely.
make sure that whatever he pushes out is like exactly in his vision. So that's why I think it's going to be interesting if he does start doing drops on Gala Music.
So to answer C Money's question, Snoop has done many NFT drops. This would be Kanye's first, no? I think, yes, Kanye hasn't released any NFT related things. Snoop has done quite a lot of things for like Sandbox, and then he's done several things for like Gala Music and quite a few other ecosystems. So yes. Carpet says, I feel the vibes are starting to feel like 2021 again with Gala. Bro, the Gala Music Discord feels like 2021 Gala Games Discord, and quite a lot of people have picked up on that vibe, and I completely agree with you there, Carpet. But if Kanye really is coming, where did this rumor stem from? It stemmed from when somebody figured out that where was the image? Is it bottom? That image that I showed you of this. No, it was the vulture track that I think I just minimized that. Minimize it again.
Yeah, you just had it up somewhere.
Yeah, someone found that. Someone was basically data mining Gala, and they found that the vultures one.
And then Benefactor, I think this morning he kind of
he's like, oh,
you guys found out. You know,
I see that some of you have figured out the announcement that has yet to be approved. Clever bunch here. And then Satterman is like, vultures? So if I scroll up, I guess we can find the image. I can't remember the guy who did it, but it was here where it showed the image that I had a couple minutes ago of like vultures by Yee and Figgy. And it had one sale out of 1 million, I believe, but you can scroll up to find that image. I must have closed it. Another thing we have to talk about, right, that Khaos got excited for is this. Benefactor posted pretty cool Gala. Gala is the third most secured, I don't think blockchain, I think it's token, right? I don't think it's the blockchain, but it's the token. It's the third most secured token by Certec, and Certec is the leader trusted security auditor for quite a lot of things in Web3, and it goes Bitcoin, Ethereum, which is the top dog 1-2, and guess who's in third? Gala Games, 95.31. AAA score, everything green. I don't know what the light green on the Bitcoin and ETH is, but Gala has everything green. Arbitrum has 4 green, 2 light green. Same with Aptos. I think this is bullish news that Khaos was going mental for, but not a lot of people seem to care about this.
Well, that's actually it's been out for a while. Not to lie, like I seen that a long time ago. But again, it just depends on like the audience that you're catering to. Because like when Gala was really pushing like, oh, we're like a gaming company, how much did that really matter to gamers? We were more focused on like NFT prices and games and all that. So I think really now when they're really pushing that L1 and all that, that's when it's like really bullish.
Especially with Gala Swap. Gala Swap and rank thirded security, that pairs an amazing combo, right?
Mm-hmm. It gives confidence to people to use. Like I'm a big fan of decentralized exchange. I've been using it for a long time, and like the one thing I don't like about decentralized exchange is the security, because you can get your money drained real quick from a liquidity pool, and I didn't like the fees, and so I was just like, so I went back to centralized exchange, but having the ability to connect your wallet, and then just no KYC, just boom, that's my wallet. Use this DEX product. You can do staking. You can provide liquidity to liquidity pools. It's so cool. But my concern was like the security, and like having Gala have this like high security. It gives confidence for people to come not only to use it, but to provide liquidity or to build their own DEX as well. Like so, it doesn't just have to be just that one DEX. Other people could come and build like a lending or farming or whatever on that blockchain or ecosystem. But it's really good. When I saw that, I was like, oh shit, finally, like, something that's gonna give confidence for developers and people to use it.
Yep. I went through your WhatsApp message to find that guy's name.
It's gonna be interesting to see now, like if they can really get in the spotlight and limelight of those conversations now from developers and L1 enthusiasts, and if you now start hearing about Gala in that aspect, because like bigger creators who still cover or mention Gala, they still associate it with the games. I was watching Cryptos R Us the other day, and he was just like still mentioning like the lawsuit, and he associated with Gala with gaming. So it's so new, this whole new marketing push that they're doing with the L1, that like again, no one outside of our bubble is really considering Gala as like a real competitor to like the other blue chip L1s. So if they can get in that race and that conversation, and then what I've been saying is like they need to drop some sort of like comparison chart that shows like Gala's capabilities versus every other chain.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if right now they're just saying that they're better, but prove it out. Just simply say this is what this chain does, this is what we do. Are we faster? Are we better? Are we more secure? Blah 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 blah. Just right there, lay it all out, and then it's plain and simple.
Some people think of you taking shots at other chains, but if facts are facts, then there you go, right? It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. It's more important as well than you've already made the statement, so you need to back it up, otherwise you are taking a shot.
Yeah, you need to back it up with facts as well. Like, give us the data.
Exactly.
Give us that information. People can see that information because it's a blockchain, it's an open thing, and they can see all the like analytics and all that, and then be like, bang, okay, so what they said is actually true. And it's not like a promise or something that they say that will happen in the future, which we know Gala has. Yeah, exactly. There we go.
And because like think of it, like we're like a lot of like the creators, especially like in the creator program, like we're gaming creators, so we might not be savvy to a lot of this technical stuff when it comes to the chain. And like a good example is like I was on TikTok the other day, and there was a big crypto creator who's like, yeah, I'm gonna create a Web3 game, and I'm looking for a chain right now to use. And I commented like, try Gala chain, and then he's like, oh, I've kind of looked into it, but like why use Gala chain? And then that's it. I was stuck there. You know what I mean? Like
we don't have the ammo. We don't have the information. Exactly. Yeah. Give us the ammo. Give us like a folder. Like, oh, you want to tell people why Gala chain? Here's like 4 pages or 4 images. Send this to them. Like, we need that to spread the word of Gala chain. It's basically free advertising. We want Gala to succeed. Give us the ammo to make it succeed. So that's like another way of doing it, right?
Exactly.
Cool. So on to this announcement for Gala Film. David Bianchi, the creator of Razor, he gets a 8 out of 10 from Film That magazine. He is astonished by the production value. So it looks like film is also kicking off in 2024. They also released a roadmap that seems pretty aggressive based on what I've heard other people comment who are more into the film ecosystem know about. But I'm interested to see how film kicks off. And if you didn't watch the film AMA, I think it will be available in the Discord soon once they upload it like the previous one. But yeah, if you don't know, Razor is a series by David Bianchi. It's a cyberpunk-ish Neuralink type film. You can get more information on Gala Film by just going over to the Gala Film section here and then finding the films that you are interested in. I want Ghost of Ruin to come out, man. Ghost of Ruin, if it gets a game as well, it's going to be amazing. But here you go. It's film.gala.game and it's music.gala.com, film.gala.com and then music.gala.com, and then games is now games.gala.com. So make sure those are the websites you are using. Oh, and I think that pretty much covers this week of information you guys need to know in the Gala Games ecosystem. It's getting close to midnight. This is one of the longest podcasts we've done. Need to thank Tendies for popping up halfway through. You tired, bro?
It's 6:30 p.m. over here.
Bro, it's 11:36 over here. All 3 of us are like, oh my god. I just came back from work too, so I'm shattered, bro. Tons of information coming out, kind of hard to keep up now. That's why we made this podcast, See Money. Like, not everybody's going to be able to keep up with all the information. I generally play the Discord mini game, so you guys don't have to. Now Khaos and Shadow are also feeding information for the podcast, and I follow the Twitter mini game as well, as you call it, and we summarize it all in these weekly recaps. So you guys just need to tune into this if you don't have time to play the Gala Discord mini game, to play the Twitter mini game, the Twitter Spaces mini game, the AMA mini game. We're basically doing that for you. So just tune in weekly. It's probably going to be every Saturday, roughly 8 or 9 p.m. GMT time. So mark that on your calendar, add it to your calendar. Like, bang, I need to be in front of the computer, listen to this podcast because I'm going to get all the information I need. Carpet, thank you, boys. Love the videos. Well, stay tuned, man. We're only getting started. And once again, thank you 8-bit attendees for popping in halfway through. It's kind of interesting to get you sorted on the side while still trying to host the podcast. Again, check out 8-bit attendees channel over here. Check out Bobby Millet's music. They are the same person, as I said before. Some people's minds might be blown by that. Also, if you want more information about the Vox side, then check out Chattervox. You have Dubstep Rod for all the Common Ground World stuff. Also, I'm not subscribed because this is like my tutorial channel, but I am on my main. Also, check out Shadowknyte, which is the not that Shadowknyte Champions Arena. Champions Arena. You should pop up. There you go. It's Coca Shadowknyte here. And then Khaos doesn't have a channel yet, but he's got a Twitter. So make sure to follow him there. You can see all the links in the channel's description. I will make sure to get 8-bits information there as well after the podcast finishes. See money for spider tanks. There you go. See money for spider tanks. But yeah. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap up the podcast?
No, just thanks everyone for stopping by and tuning in. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot for coming on 8-bit attendees. It's brilliant having you on the show. Look forward to getting some games in on LR, hopefully in the coming weeks.
Yeah,
man. Thank you guys for having me on here.
Yeah, no, much respect for coming. I really appreciate that. Hopefully we can get you back on another time. Maybe like where there's like another fireside chat or some big news from Mirandus. It's really cool to get your perspective and opinions and point of view. Really appreciate everyone stopping by, engaging in the chat. I really love that. Sometimes you'll do like a stream and then people are just watching and they're not engaging. But when people engage, it's really cool. They're asking questions and voicing their own opinion. Shout out to Lou. It's really good to have Lou on. Like, definitely somebody we want to get back on for more the Walking Dead Empire stuff. I had it was a great time. It's 3 hours, almost 3 hours, but it was great. It flew by, and I love doing this with you guys. So yeah, can't wait for the next one.
Oh, that was episode.
Y'all need to go to sleep now.
Legit, bro. My eyes are like, but that was episode 6 of Guardians of the Galaverse. Make sure you tune in next week for episode 7. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.